Hello, everybody. Hello, Nimby. Hello, Gomertbugs. Hello, Meow Meow. Hello. I've been sneezing so much today. It's quite bad. I don't know what happened. Is that I keep sneezing. It's like somebody's mother. Ow, 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 ow. It's like somebody's out to get me. Allergies. Are you sick? Maybe it is allergies. Maybe I am sick. I just know I keep sneezing. Hello, Jen. Hello, my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. You might hear me sniffling more today. You're sniffling. Just take off my nose. Just yeet it. Yeet it away. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Indeed. I took a little flu medicine before the stream, but I don't think it'll get into effect anytime soon because I literally took it before the stream. Like a minute before the stream. Above average Tuesday. What's the command to make a chibi with them sharp teeth, Edgy? Goobermode. Exclamation mark. Goobermode. Is it in the description? It should be in the description. Yeah, it is. Goobermode. Yeah, goober time. Goober time. It's Tuesday, and it love. It's Tuesday. Popcorn's gonna come in here and be so disappointed at my British accent. My terrible British accent. Okay, just doing little stuff. Invite the chat. Nom. Nom. Jeez Louise on a Christmas cheese. Why isn't it working? Sorry, I'm doing something. Oh, there it is. That's why. Ah. Nice mustache. Alright, I am Brian Mayer. Hello. Hello, Ian. Welcome, Ian. I could remove my mustachio. Mustachio, no. It's gone. Back. It's a me. Briar Mare, not Brian Mare. Mustachiono. Yeah, mustachiono. Make up words. Make up the words. Doing the things, posting the stream. I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I'm Briar. Eating spaghetti. Nice. Spaghetti is good. Hey Briar, where did the guy with the mustache go? I have no idea. He just showed up one day. He just showed up and now he's gone. I'm gonna boot up the game in a bit. I hope my sniffling's not too annoying. Big sniffles. Big snifflies. I'm awake way too early for a doctor appointment. Oh geez. Is it like a difficult, like bad thing, like is it serious, or is it just like a regular thing at least, you know? I'm gonna boot up the game. No, it's an injection. I have to get 3 weeks. It's just 3. Oh, okay. At least it's a something that you just get the something, you know. Oh. Okay. It's interesting. Let's play the Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York. Yeah, we'll try. Despite us sounding like this today, we'll still try and play. It'll just be me and the world. I'll leave the stream on when I'm gone. I actually haven't seen this game. Well, it's a visual novel, basically. It's like a point and click kind of. Well, not really a point and click. It is a visual, but it's like it's not. Yeah, it is a visual. Yeah, bleh. I don't know how to talk today. Bleh. But yeah, it's a visual novel. I'ma play Zenless Zone Zero while just listen to stream. Thank you for listening. Oh my god, it's so loud. Hold on. Jeebus Louises about Christmas cheeses. Okay, I'm wondering how to do this. Can I, like, make it smaller? Like... Because I want it, like... I guess 720p it is. This is what I get for having only one monitor. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I guess it's a pity that Gooba doesn't have a nose, because otherwise you'd be like, oh god, and then you see my nose like moving around. But Gooba doesn't have a nose. Gooba doesn't have ears either. Did you know? Wait, why isn't it working? Oh, that's why it's not working. Yeah, Gooba doesn't have ears. See? I have no ears. Hello, Jen. Oh wait, no. Hello, Elite Trainer. You're saying hi to Jen. I mean, hi to Elite Trainer Jen. If Gooba sneezes, an entire village gets a windshield. Hato! You don't got ears or nose. Exactly. I'm bald. Bye. There's my hair. There it goes. Okay. We just put the game into the OBS. And put it into the OBS. Actually, I might have to press new game first. Wait, let me press new game first. Because if I remember correct, because like I think the previous game, the menu music was copyrighted. Oh wait, there's a video that's playing. Okay, wait, then maybe I'll go back to the beginning. Okay, fine. If the menu music is copyrighted, I can remove it later. Anyway, let me put on the game. Goober can't hear us. Goober can hear fine. It's kind of like how snakes hear through the, wait, no, smell through the tongue. Goober hears through the tongue. Yeah. Okay, today we're gonna start. Here we go. You all know commands for solar eclipse mode? I do. You got Mare mode. You do Mare mode. But I think you gotta wait for this one to finish. Gotta wait for me to change back. But anyway, welcome to Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York. Shadows of New York. So basically, this is sequel to the Coteries of New York. This is sequel. I played it before, but I'm replaying it. I didn't play it on the channel. I'm replaying it because a new game came out, and I want to do all the other games before we go to the new game. Oh, I'm just a dum didn't see. Nah, it's okay, Jed. Like it's sometimes I don't forget to put it in the description. Good morning, New York mentioned, so I'm here. You like New York, Yoko? I'm a bit sniffly. Okay, we start. Yeah, we over it. How many Vampire the Masquerade games are there? At least for this visual novel, there are like 3. This visual novel series, there are 3. But in general, Vampire the Masquerade games, I would say it's like probably only like less than 10. It's my home state. Nice! Welcome to my castle. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out of the window sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. It lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and I'm convinced it has something to do with the moon. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them some subliminal permission to reveal their true selves. And so, whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. A dance of horrors and marvels begins. Okay, 1 second. Maybe I don't put it at fast. Maybe I lower the volume a little bit. It's got ambiance. It's pretty neat. I forgot. I forgot. Oh wait, I'm back. I just realized. I am no longer the goobs. Alright. Oh, alright. Alright. Head patch. Oh, hello. Hello, Splishy. Welcome, Splishy. You got funny name. So I'm trying to organize my windows on my screen. Because I only have the one monitor. Head pads. We do not have head pads, unfortunately. Okay. It's 3:31 a.m. Welcome to bigyeet Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're... Oh, hey, I changed to maremode. Thank you for summoning maremode. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're praying that the sunrise never comes. Insatiable children of the night gather around, hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here, greedily reveling in every interaction they have. They have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. But this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. I'm basically a voyeur, and unashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered, and more importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. Oh, hello, Daryl. Welcome, Daryl. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Of course, a lot of regular events, such as food fights, are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of a improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting, sometimes it's disturbing, sometimes it's dangerous, although not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Still, the sights I've taken in over the years here have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu mourning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battle. A lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying in cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. She said no. The long and ancient name of my grandfather named amuses you. Good, he was a clown and he lived. His name was Splishy Terrific. Two thirsty macho dudes, shamelessly going for it in the corner, hushed moaning, filling the lobby while everyone around valiantly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. A straight-up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode, trying to break all the windows. The big guy left the joint fully convinced he KO'd himself, while the service worker was just standing next to him, seemed proud of his victory too. A middle-aged hag, getting a heart attack, after screaming her lungs out, not to let Muslims near her food, just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind a counter. A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they read. This is life. This is humanity at its worst and best. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is... as pathetic as it may sound, these days, this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes, I think of myself as a leech, feeding on these people's stories, emotions, and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. At times I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postmodern construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. Does this even make any sense? I look at the screen of my laptop. 3:47 a.m. At this point, I'm almost somnambulic, but nothing interesting has happened yet. Feels like all the customers are watching each other tonight, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. Think it's time to call it a night. The coffee I always order so that they don't kick me out is undrinkable. Ugh, I reread the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. God damn, this is pure trash. I hold the backspace button until the Google Documents page is nothing but a calm white slate and let out a sound of deep relief. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them, and what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? I check the time again. I need to go. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. And it's not because I'm an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level despite like 4 hours of sleep. It's because I always have a hunch things are not going the way they're supposed to. Click clack, click click clack. The loud clatter of keyboards assaults me from all sides, makes the splitting headache unbearable. Used to be, I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It was the first magazine I started reading regularly, the first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin the mood. Never mind seeing all these old farts phoning in more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia-level analyses of current events. Click-clack, click-click-clack. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me toward my favorite cigarette brand, for God's sake. Then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neuroses. Some became complacent. All of them committed the sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. These days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar talks about Lodestar, it's because of a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumbasses. Other than that, the magazine specializes in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped in an aesthetic that hasn't been cutting edge for a decade. No wonder the readership is in free fall, but even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its course or its holes, they will be swiftly taken care of. I should know. Been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing is Lodestar's editor-in-chief, Briar. The man sitting in front of me right now. Of course, he only has time for editorials these days, a drop in the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. It's the second time he lets out a theatrical cough like this. He said his piece. Now it's up for me to react, and I'm coming up blank. But what do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off. I can tell you've already made up your mind, but you still want to go through the motions, just to make me feel listened to. Whatever, let's do this. The man's a sexual harasser, Brian. I feel stupid that I even have to say this out loud, but you're essentially covering up for a sexual harasser, Brian. No, I'm not. No, just face it. Let's say the Harvey Weinstein story appeared on your desk instead of reaching the New York Times. Don't compare me to the Times. You know that's a low blow. You're asking for it, and you're not exactly in a position to talk about low blows here. You know that's not the core of the issue. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article just because some rich shithead told you he doesn't like it. Get real, this is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make me an offer I can't refuse. What is this about then? Because it looks awfully like. It's about my bosses telling me this outlet can't afford the legal action we already have been threatened with. So, millionaire interference. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia, don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish your story. It's Thiel versus Gawker all over again. A lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we're bled dry. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths waiting to be fed at home. I have an amazing team that doesn't deserve to be torn apart over some... Don't you think it's telling you mentioned your mortgage first? Silence. Just asking questions. I know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Lewinsky. You're good at them. The problem is, you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boring suits with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts as a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you. And Double Spiral has enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. Their HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative, and they're doing a great job. Won't mitigate the damage completely, but will put every little thing in question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, and a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fudgehead. Julia? Let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic F-head. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not... You've listened to the tapes, you've read the transcripts, you've seen the documents, you've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Click, clack, click, clack, click. Of course I do, but that's beside the point. It's not. How about I say it out loud and save us both some time? Okay, wait, I think the music, it might be a little loud. You're loud. You're loud. You're loud. Okay, maybe lower the music, but we can still have the ambiance. Okay. We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there's only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. You prioritize the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concept of greater good. I get it. I really do. Yet for some reason, it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalizing your decision so that I forgive you, officially exonerate you. I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. So what are you then? In your own words, a man who does what is necessary to protect his own. So I don't count as your own anymore. He mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. I don't know if you even want to work under a scumbag like me from now on. Oh, come on, don't turn this into a pity party. No, I'm absolutely a scumbag. Then why is that? Because I'm firing you. What? My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank account displays before my eyes with startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts traveling towards my stomach. No, don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information. Now, there must be a catch. And what about my work? Let me get this straight. Ever since we met, I've been working on stories and pieces no one else in your office would touch with a 10-foot pole. Constantly interviewing total nobodies, always busy traveling to the middle of nowhere and regretting my last trip, repeatedly ordered to clean up someone else's mess. Julia, all your long-winded spiels about how the disposable work is the most important work, and suddenly you only remember the disposable part. My feelings about the quality of your work remain the same as ever. It was vital. It kept the magazine going. I will always appreciate it. Then why would you threaten to fire me? I would never threaten you. It's a done deal. They've made their decision perfectly clear. They? What they? Who is this they? He glances left and right and then points upward for a short moment. When he speaks up again, it's in a hushed tone. You know, the big kahunas. Can't really question them, and they want your head on a silver plate. He's not looking me in the eye. You're not joking. I will never joke about stuff like this. It's real. Fucking hell, it's real. But damn it all to hell. All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what? Virgin asshole, you know? I deserve better, and I always deserve better, and it always ends with me going down the drain back to the sewage. No. Take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, they go for your throat. Get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's lost cause. No, I mean, it's impossible. Julia, you can't fire fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. It takes him a few seconds to put his "oh, I get it" face, let out a troubled gasp, and start massaging his temples. Lodestar has been my biggest source of income for the past few years. That much is true, but technically nobody has ever hired me here. It was all freelance jobs. A full-time position only served as a kind of a dangling carrot, a promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even some kind of insurance to save my failing health. And the recognition I would get for being a part of the Lodestar team, a position that everyone around me seems to respect, aside from me. Then why did I want it so much? There will be time to mourn what could have been. For now, I should act like I don't care. You know what I mean. If I let you work, even under a fake name, it'll be guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm going to start shopping this story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know, I told them. Any response? Let us worry about that. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. Click clack. Click clack click. I do wonder if I could get accustomed to one of these loud mechanical keyboards some people here love to use. Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and sit closer to the lobby. Always on the outside, no matter how hard I try to break in. A vibration in my back pocket feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I've been working on this fucking story for, I don't know, 16 months on and off. I know. You kept cheering me on. I know. We have even agreed on the pay I'd received. I know. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. No, wait, 2.5. I catch him off guard. He is momentarily taken aback, and then gives me an empathetic stare. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything I can do to help. If you can't tell your big kahuna still F off, I don't think there's a single thing. Julia. I pulled out a smoke and lined it up. Gotta get back in control. Please don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative thing he's done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick, the perfect 21st century cinema reviewer, never has an original thought of his own. Just relies on his purely algorithmic taste to stay likable. And the best thing is, it works. Funny, I used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realize Nick won't be unseated anytime soon, and offered to teach me the ways of an investigative journalist instead. Wasn't a career I ever wanted to pursue, but to my dismay, I turned out to be surprisingly good at it, until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right. Lesson learned. Should have pursued my dreams instead. Stop it. Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team, and put out that smoke. People tell me I let you step over me all the time. Why do I even let you act this way? Because you once told me honesty is the most important in a mentor-student relationship, and that it works both ways, and because I thought we were friends. He bites his lip and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't even teach you that. It's funny because she worried about her bank account first and just like him and his mortgage. It's always funny, the work is always second. Practical ideas. That's true. When you get fired, you're like, oh my god, money. But what about my money? Okay, at the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't even teach you that. You're still responsible for me. Oh no, you're not getting off the hook that easily. You're still my mentor, and I will make sure you take responsibility. You're getting rid of me. At least point me in the right direction. I need to get my shit together fast, and I can't do it on my own. Fair. I might have failed as a guide, but I will do what I can not to leave you stranded, okay? There are options. None of them a remedy for all your troubles, but... Ugh, wait a second. Another vibration in my pocket, another foreboding feeling. This time, I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket. If it has to rain, why not let it pour? A new email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. No, this can't be. Christ. I just got a email from Mila Lopez. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral. Same as Mike Antonov and Jared Rivera. What? It's what's happened? I'll spare you all her insults, okay? The key thing is, it seems that her HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and use it to shut everyone's mouth. Hell, apparently, Montgomery walked up to Lopez just as she was emptying her desk and told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless, I can't say the C word. Brian goes pale. I think he has a very good reason to. You legend scumbag, you outed my sources? But what? Of course not. What are you even saying? Oh, don't you dare play coy. It must have been either you or me, no one else, and you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable, both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote rewritten 5 times just in case, all sorts of red herrings scattered around. I know my shit, you know I do. And this timing, did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved Big Kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but why don't we just talk this through, calmly? You're right, we shouldn't have fled you off. Fury takes the wheel, and I'm just here along for the ride. I can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. Let's just see it all unfold. Calmly, F you, Brian. Oh, also, I just realized, chat isn't showing on screen. Ah, there you are. There you are, chat. Julia. I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I didn't know was an assassin or a corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up, not in a way that would have implicated all of them. You goddamn, you thought you could get away with this. I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame on me. So what, you're claiming it's my fault? 'Cause you're never the guilty one? It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations you have, and now me. You're being silly. Quit with this martyr bullshit. Calm down or I'll have to... You immoral shit. You mother fudging... Calm down, for God's sake. And so it goes. I yelled out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time, but held back. I fling a lot of insults I've been workshopping for years, hoping I never use them. I break a few things. At times, for a split second, I see pity in somebody's eyes. It's gonna haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment, I don't care. These people know this company has nothing left to offer me, so at least let me take this catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building, and that's the end of my journalistic career. I just feel like my world has crumbled into nothing. I mean, you have oh wait, this is the girlfriend. Okay. I mean, you have every right to. Like Jesus, if I were you, I would have already broken down into a sobbing mess. I'd love to, but I'm on a subway, far too crowded to cry in public, even now, and? It's stupid, but I feel like someone out there keeps destroying everything I hold dear, just to see my reaction. Like, it was a prank show and someone was waiting to record me crying. So out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. But you, whoever and wherever you are. That's the most Julia Sawinski thing I've heard. Spite as the greatest motivator, huh? Not feeling particularly motivated to do anything right now, to be honest. I just want to stay in my bed until my shithead landlord calls the cops to forcefully evict me. Not surprised. Shit, I know that whenever life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another. But this is too much. How much is too much? Let's recap the last week of June 2019. I've been kicked out of my job. Well, not that I've ever been hired, so let's just say my mentor broke every vague promise he ever made to me. A big thing I've been working on for a year and a half went down the toilet. It's all useless. My boss didn't protect my sources properly, and now they keep trying to reach me through every possible channel to threaten me or just yell at me, and they have every right to react like that. All my side gigs were shut down. Nobody's replying to my emails. Someone's been dragging my name through the mud behind the scenes, and it worked. I still have no idea who's sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but... Listen, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna stand idly by and watch you get cancelled by some mean-spirited, delusional... I said, don't worry about it. I have 3 unread messages from my landlord. The message previews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Apparently, Dad has bladder cancer. Mom is in hysterics. She'd go crazy if she heard about my situation, so I have to pretend everything is okay whenever she calls. And she calls every day, and she just won't hang up before she offloads all her burdens on me. And I can't blame her, because we all had to learn to cope with Dad's psychopathic tendencies somehow. I was robbed. All my documents and what little money I had, gone. Don't even know when or where it happened, and it's driving me crazy because I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. The list goes on. I don't want to sound paranoid, but it really feels like a concerted attack. Paranoid is good. Anyway, I know you always hand-wave this topic away, but just remember that if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to go through it alone. I do. I've been a trouble magnet, and as self-centered as I may be, I don't want it to affect you. I know. Listen, I have another call. Alright, just call me if anything happens, no matter how dumb it seems, okay? And swing by whenever you can. I will. Thank you. See you. I put my phone away, exhale, and blankly stand in front of me. Christ. I glance at my reflection in the window. Just look at this idiot. Whatever the situation requires me to dress formally, I still feel a bit like a child, cosplaying as an adult. This story has me thinking I need more specific backup plans, or else everything will go to crap immediately. Should I follow the dress for the job you want advice and continue dressing up like a trust fund kid who keeps partying on Brooklyn rooftops for years without a care in the world? It's only after a while that I realize the car is empty, unnaturally so. I start feeling uneasy, but someone enters my peripheral vision. Hello? Shadowy lady? Hello? And that's the last thing I consciously register. The world dissolves. When I come to, I'm out of the subway, standing in the back alley I don't recognize. It's pretty dark. My eyes are adjusting, and I try to figure out what happened. There's a gun in my hand, a faint silhouette at my feet. It's not moving. Somebody stands in front of me, covered in shadows. I can't fully make out her face, but she's staring at me with visible intent. She speaks. Her voice is raspy and androgynous, her tone hateful and mocking. Aren't you a nasty one? What is going on? Who are you? Don't play coy. My mind goes blank. I look at the ground. There's a body, riddled with bullets, and I recognize who it was. The corpse belongs to Mike Antonoff, one of the double spiral whistleblowers, my source. He was just threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. Before I can even feel the tiniest bit of compassion, I face a terrible realization. They will think I'm guilty. Oh my god, am I guilty? How is this real? It wasn't me. I don't even know what's going on. Listen, I was just riding the subway. Again, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories about your situation. He wasn't having none of it. You got mad. Things escalated. He died. This isn't true. It's plausible, but that doesn't make it true. Or does it? This is just a nightmare. It doesn't even make sense. It must be a dream. And if it isn't, the person in front of me must be responsible. There's a faint voice in my head, screaming that it's her world, and that I'm just living in it. What the F have you done to me? Nothing yet, but I'll do what I can to get you locked up for life. This is a murder in the first degree with special circumstances. Her detached voice and nonsensical tone only reassures me this can't be real. I refuse to believe it is. Before I even manage to think this through, I point the gun at her. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be acting like that. You'd be running away, calling the police, begging for help, yelling I'm a psycho. Oh, you are a psycho, but I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of here alive. This doesn't make a single lick of sense. Tears well up in my eyes. Why are you doing this? Because sometimes one has to confront what they're really made of. There's no two ways about it. She's gotta be nuts. Slowly but surely, she starts walking toward me. Stop right there or I'll shoot. Go on. It's the only way you can get off the hook, isn't it? The only way you can survive? But you would definitely prove you are the monster I claim you are. The fudge is in stone! So controlling, inauthentic, patronizing. I'm serious. For your own sake, you'd better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I did kill Antonov. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe it's less tiring not to live. Maybe I should just let her take care of me. Maybe I will just wake up. Or maybe this insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. Maybe a world that wants to destroy me deserves to be destroyed. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. Shoot her! I close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. A loud bang echoes through the alley. I'm afraid to look at what I've done. I've been to a shooting range once and felt absolutely horrified by pistols. Such a small thing, but it can easily puncture a hole in the fabric reality is made of. Never knew I'd be able to use it against another human being. The very thought makes me want to puke. You were a right choice after all. I'm so glad. You haven't allowed yourself to break, but you've crossed the line I needed you to cross. There's a silent flame in you that could become an inferno if left unchecked. I sure hope it will. She's still alive. Her voice is coming from behind me. She puts her hands around my waist, and her cold mouth touches my neck. I can feel my shirt getting violently torn off. I don't understand, but I'm too dazed to protest. That was your final test. Congratulations. You have proved yourself worthy. I can feel something sharp sliding into my neck. It's not too painful, just startling. Think, a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. The dopamine receptors I've considered completely fried until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known before. I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such a relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge at least, washing away all of my fears, all of my sorrows, all of my anger, all of my pain, all of my ego. I become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in this world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense toward her, something I've never felt before. Is this love? I hope it is. This is not you, hisses a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my head. But it's okay. I never felt particularly fond of me anyway. New York, you're perfect. Oh, please don't change a thing. He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. Hallelujah, praise be, when everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains, I hope you're doing fine. God, shut up, just enjoy it. You finally understand. She's making love to me, she's giving birth to me, she's burying me. I'm pretty sure I've been dead for a while. I'm pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hands from a distance for a moment somehow. And then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No, wait. I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood? I realize that whatever this was, it's over, and I have to bask in the afterglow while I still can. I also immediately understand that I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my existence. Finally, she lets out a whisper, which concludes the ceremony. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. But you were lucky enough to be born into a world of monsters, so don't you ever mourn that fact. Embrace it. Wow, title card! Okay, I think I need to blow my nose. Hold up. I need to blow my nose. Oh, jeez. I sound so nasally. Oh my god. Okay. Wait, let me... Yippee. Okay. Once again, I find myself in 𝑭𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔. Familiar surroundings, faces I recognize, mood, same as it ever was. Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now, or more precisely, makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging to the remnants of a cocoon I've outgrown. Ugh. It's the same with these cigarettes. I don't need them anymore, so why do I keep holding on to them? Fucking hell, it's like I refuse to accept that there's something better than I used to be. A vampire. Just 2 nights ago, I met Karen. She embraced me, by which I mean turned me into a kindred. She calls herself my sire, and me, her child. Last night, she taught me the basics of survival. Drinking blood, manipulating humans, bending steel, controlling shadows. Tonight, I expected more lessons. Instead, she just told me to go out and enjoy myself. What's the catch? I asked, to which she responded, I might kill you if you prove to be a disappointment. I like narration you're doing, I think it's good. Oh, thank you, Spitchy Terrific. Thank you. There are a few rules. I have to uphold the masquerade. I can't contact anyone I knew as a human. I can't let anyone realize I'm not human anymore. I can't embrace anyone, and so on. Otherwise, I'm free to do whatever I want. But for some reason, the first thing I did was come back here. Old habits die hard. Karen is probably watching me from somewhere even now. The way I understand it, tomorrow night she is supposed to introduce me to the Camarilla, a local society of vampires. Turns out they are the one who have been systematically ruining my life lately, all a part of some secret evaluation that I barely passed. Just imagining the reach they have makes me dizzy. After they destroyed the old me that I barely cared about, Karen rebuilt me anew. On one hand, her tests left some scars that would take time to heal. On the other hand, maybe I should just be grateful. I am snapped out of my thoughts by a sudden scream. Some douchebag yelling about his french fries not being salty enough. I think this is my cue to leave, permanently. Goodbye, BBB. Hope I never see you again. I'm destined for greater things, you see. Okay, we're just thrown into the meat of the game. You get to do things now. The risks of swiping right. This Tinder addict smells like a bit of a loser, a wannabe intellectual, a perfect source of nourishment. What about this one? Time to swing a little more on the devil's dance floor than Club beckons. A meathead bully and his unfortunate victim. I probably shouldn't interfere, but what better chance could I find to test what I've become? I think it... Okay, I'm gonna go to the swiping right, because it sounds funny. He lowers his eyes awkwardly, thinking how to proceed with his rant. So it's like the conversation isn't really smooth yet. It's like I keep throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, but nothing seems to stick for long. You understand, yeah? For sure. It's really this lack of context just killing me. About online dating, it's bad enough when a few photos in a single sentence all you have to rely on when starting conversation, right? But when a cosmic miracle finally happens, and she's actually willing to keep replying to you, and she's actually down to meet up eventually, and you're out there sitting with her, and after 90 minutes you still don't know have that shared context, just no clue whatsoever, it's just like, take me out and put a bullet in my head, and put me out of my misery. So it was just one of those dates, and it's like, we've been sitting here for ages, and the only thing she has a prolonged interest in is getting hammered as possible, just one drink after another. And the more drunk she is, the more familiar she's getting. It's all these little things, touching my upper arm after each joke, her arm around my shoulder, her jokingly punching my waist. This escalation is subtle, but steady. In addition, one recurring topic appears, and that is all the cool shit she has and wishes she could have shown me. Oh, too bad it's all back in her apartment. That's when it hits me. She just wants to sleep with me. This happens with Tinder. Yeah, when you meet someone on Tinder, this happens sometimes. Yeah, well, eventually we both ran out of ideas for topics that could potentially be interesting to both of us. So I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'd love to see all the crap in your apartment. So we Uber there, and it's admittedly a pretty nice apartment. Like, nothing too fancy, but I can tell her dad is the kind of asshole I like to punch in the face if I ever met him, you know what I mean. So she guides me to the kitchen and makes me some tea, a rare Indian blend, forgot what it was like 5 minutes later. Then she excuses herself and goes to the bathroom. And doesn't come back. 10 minutes later, I ran out of tweets to read and become a little concerned. I start looking around. The first thing that catches my eye is that kitchen table. And the table was surprisingly large, and it's covered in neatly arranged documents, like some connected dots, investigation board, mafia conspiracy kind of thing. Naturally, I take interest. It takes me 20 seconds to process what this is. Her entire mental health history, sorted chronologically, with all the juicy stuff nearly underlined in color. And I mean entire, it's all there. A detailed description of her effed up household situation over the years, anxiety, ADHD, bouts of depression, suspicions of schizophrenia, severe PPD, some weird psychosexual stuff with her brother. I keep reading and remember what I said about throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks? I'm dead certain that's how her shrinks went about diagnosing her. She finally comes out of the bathroom like an hour after she went in. At this point, I've read all of this shit on the table like 3 times, and not just the stuff she's highlighted for my convenience. And I feel like right now, I understand her better than like someone who's read Crime and Punishment understands. Okay, how do I read that? Raskolnikov. And I'm not happy about that, like, at all, you know what I mean? She walks in with a cheerful, hi. I respond with a slick, all good. She nods, does this weird finger gun thing, and chuckles. I pretend I've been doing work-related stuff on my phone this whole time. The small talk starts. A minute in, she casually picks up one of the documents on the table and starts doing the super obvious body language cues that are like, oh no, how did this get here? I'm practically dying inside, but I put on my cool face and make it look like I'm not here. Sorry, gotta reply to my boss. Yeah, he's working 24/7. Psycho, 𝑰𝒏𝒂𝒎𝒄𝒊𝒕𝒔. Yeah, ha ha ha. She slowly collects all the documents, puts them away, and then nonchalantly asks me something about Tom Impala while I'm feeling crushed by all the kinds of trauma I've just learned about. The apartment starts feeling like a coffin. All of a sudden, she picks up a kitchen knife and starts playing with it, with this zoned out stare. I'm fudging mortified, so what do you think I did? You do the dirty deed? You slept with her? Oh, hello! Abay now, welcome. Of course I slept with her. That's how the worst 6 months of my life began, and I couldn't even say I didn't see it coming. God, I'm such a slut. What the heck? That's such a wild story. And he's like, yeah, I did the dirty. He leans back and groans while hiding his face behind his palms. I look at his neck. Every vein seems so visible and impossibly alluring. I don't think I've ever looked at anyone's neck like that. I realize I feel insanely thirsty. Damn. I know. You sure took a turn. Years ago, when this rant began, it was about continental philosophy. What, sorry, can you say that again? He's pretty drunk, barely able to focus on anything but his current train of thought. Just what I was hoping for. Years ago, when this... never mind. Listen, it's stuffy in here. I want to go out, get some fresh air. You haven't touched your drink. I mean, I would if I could. No more alcohol for me. What? No, this one's not mine. I mean, some dude bought it for me, but I don't want it. He scans the room with a desk stand, looking for the guy who did it, not realizing his best chance of finding him is in a mirror. Then he drinks like a half of my glass at once, while looking around as if he was hoping to prove his dominance over an unseen enemy. Okay, after you. Hello, I am new subscriber. Welcome, new subscriber person. How are you chatting? We're not chatting, we're rating. It's a rating stream. Okay, after you. We're walking across a mostly empty street. He's focused on keeping upright and walking in a straight line. I'm focused on finding a spot where I can drink him up. You seem like bad news. Oh yeah? So why don't you just leave me alone? Determinism, I guess. I roll my eyes and that's when I notice it. A deep, underlit stairwell. I look around and realize there's no one around. This is my chance. I immediately yank him downstairs. It's almost pitch black, but I can still see his face. He doesn't seem shocked. It's more like awkwardness. Now listen, it's not like I never wanted to do this sort of thing in public. Quite the opposite. It's just that I need a certain degree of comfort to perform at optimal levels. Oh, shut up. I sink my fangs inside of his neck as he whimpers and becomes silent. Finally, that's what I've been waiting for the past hour. He relaxes in my arms and I relax with him. It's like all the drinks I had to deny myself until now are hitting my head all at once, with no unpleasant side effects. I feel radiant. I don't want this moment to end, but it has to. I drop his body to the floor and lick the wound closed, just the way she taught me. His pulse is faint, but steady. He reeks of booze. If anyone finds him, there should be no suspicions. As I walk up the stairwell, I insert a finger into my mouth and try to sense my fangs. No dice. It seems they really are retractable. Well, that's handy. The hunger pangs are gone. I rub my hands around my body. I feel comfortable, hopeful, happy. Can't remember the last time I enjoyed life like this. Now let's keep this party going. Alright, let's go dance. This club reeks of death, and I love it. I've been here quite a few times, but I've never seen anything this breathtaking. Everyone around me is whacked out of their minds, and as they keep dancing madly, the spirits dance beside them. Spectral silhouettes face in and out of existence, becoming more visible the more intense the music grows. It looks like a bizarre ritual, a profane mass. I notice it's the voice samples the ghosts react to the strongest. The most suggestive ones cause them to appear distorted, even tormented. It's as if something was struggling to be born out of the harsh sounds, and the dead were hoping to be reborn alongside it. They're all uneasy, quivering with desire for something far beyond their reach, probably the same as when they were alive. Sometimes the living dancers spot their dead counterparts. It's usually the most manic ones who notice something out of the corner of their eye, for only a split second, but never realize what they've glimpsed. Some apparitions dance to a completely different tune than the rest of us, one only they can hear. Those seem the saddest. The spectacle is eerie. At times, it's unbearably melancholic. Above all, it's beautiful. I'm a new subscriber, send me a shout out to my video. Unfortunately, we do not do self-promos here. I am sorry, but thank you for subscribing. I keep on moving to the rhythm until I reach a trance-like state, and then something even stranger happens. Every now and then, when I brush against someone, a fragmentary vision appears before my eyes. Sus. It is sus. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. A car burning on a freeway, an outstretched hand in the depths of the sea, a man jumping out of a skyscraper window. Memories of the past, preventable visions of the future. I have no idea what it means, but I'm strangely eager to find out. And then there are dancers like her, one that aren't ghosts, humans, or even vampires, but something else altogether. The new world is full of mysteries, and I plan to get to the bottom of them all. But for now, I just want to dance. Oh, it's the rooftop scene. It's a very cool art for this, because I feel like the rooftop scene is very pretty. Wow, what a night. I watched Times Square from above. It's beautiful. Never thought this place could make me emotional, to be honest. But here I am, feeling deeply moved. Who would have thought? Getting up here was surprisingly easy. All things considered, took more thought than physical effort. Earlier tonight, I started experimenting with this body's limits. I realized I can jump over small buildings and climb steep walls with ease now, and my whole perception of space has shifted. I planned the scenic route across the rooftops, just as I was told, stayed in the shadows as much as humanly possible. I spot a drone from afar. For a second, I feel uneasy, but I remember what she told me. Machines won't get a clear view of me anymore. Camera footage, photos, it's all glitched out or blurry. Wouldn't take it for granted. If I didn't try to catch my reflection earlier on, I couldn't even see my face clearly. Not in the mirror, not even in a puddle. My face was like one of Dali's clocks. She told me to keep a low profile regardless. Someone might take note and track you down. She didn't care to elaborate, but it didn't sound encouraging. Suddenly it hits me that I might never be able to see my own face again. I won't be able to take care of my looks by myself. And what about the long-term psychological effects? A knot of anxiety tightens in my stomach. Jesus, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. What else is going to change? Calm down. Wait a second. These past few nights have been the best of my life. For years, I was on a downward spiral. Failing health, no future, a feeling of overwhelming powerlessness. Now everything has been flipped upside down. A total paradigm shift. A bad ending is no longer the only option. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow. I forgot how that feels. Where it used to stand at mere seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock has been effectively turned off. A cold breeze brushes my cheek. As stupid as it sounds, I choose to read it as the world telling me to chin up. I can bend anyone to my will. I am capable of superhuman strength. I am a master of shadows. I can do anything. Tomorrow night, I will be introduced to my duties. If everything goes according to plan, I will become a New York City representative of Clan 𝑙𝒉. Whoever they are, whatever that means, I have no idea what to expect. But tonight is tonight. I'm free. All my worries from a month ago feel like they belong to someone else. Finally, things are looking up. Give me title card! Title card. March 2020. Oh my god, it's 2020! Back at it again at bigyeet Burger. Familiar sounds, familiar smells, familiar faces. Yet again, I'm recalling that night when everything finally seemed to change for the better. I mean, it's not like I wasn't expecting everything to go back to the old depressing normal. even in the thick of it, the rational part of me recognized my state as temporary. But with these highs, there's always a hope it won't end, or maybe that an ego death will finally occur. Be satisfied, you stupid virgin B-word. I command you. Here's all the logical evidence for why you should be satisfied. Here's the obvious direction for your life. And here's a detailed explanation of how you should treat the people that care for you. No dice. I always fall back into the same old habits. It's like they were encoded deep in my DNA. The aimlessness, the powerlessness, the spiritual exhaustion. These goddamn fast food trips. This stupid fucking self-loathing, now amplified whenever I drink somebody's blood. Maybe I should just blame it all on the misfortune of my birth. You do this social climbing until you dissociate, then you are just this untethered, constantly frustrated ball of dumb desires. Except I'm sort of immortal right now, and I need to figure out what to do next. Dots. I watched this obscure Asian movie once. Lima Shabashtani, starring Tadanobu Asano, one of the coolest guys in the world. He plays this 𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒎 figure, a legendary noise musician. There's this mysterious virus spreading around the world, causing despair and mass suicides. A rich CEO's granddaughter, gets sick and longs to die, so he spends a fortune searching for the cure. Turns out, Asano and his friend, played by this violent onsen geisha guy, are traveling through Japan, searching the corpse-strewn towns and fields for any unique item that can produce beautiful sounds. As it turns out, the avant-garde walls of noise they create are able to heal the infected. The CEO begs the band to help, offering them all the money they want, but for some reason they refuse. Through a series of flashbacks, concerts, and vignettes, a mystery unfolds. Eventually, we realize that Asano's music is not just a remedy, it's also a cause of the virus. Whenever it connects with people, they get this hunger for more extreme, more novel experiences. And eventually, they hit a wall. Nothing can satisfy them anymore. They lose their will to live. Not even the musicians are spared from the curse. They know the end will come, sooner or later. The girl is saved by a mind-blowing concert, but the tragedy is merely postponed, not averted. The last shot of a Jesus-like Asano, silently considering his role as savior and destroyer, stayed with me. The form of the film is abrasive. Little to no narrative coherence, some weird cartoonist creative choices, the Japanese noised soundtrack, the very freeform and hard to understand weave of themes. But at this point, movies like this are all that truly connect with me. I'm the New York City representative of the 𝑧𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 clan now, also known as the Night Clan. They are masters of shadows who cast distorted reflections and make modern tech go haywire in their presence. Last year, a few months before I was embraced, the 𝑧𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 had joined with 𝑐𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔, the biggest and most traditional sect in the vampire world. The two groups actually used to fight each other, but our leaders found some intel that made them reconsider their strategy, so they sent a diplomatic mission to parley with their historical enemies. The deal they got in Chicago was simple: an unlife for an unlife. For every 𝑧𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔 vampire allowed in the ivory tower, one 𝑧𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔 vampire has to meet their untimely end. I still remember the name of the woman who met her final death, so I could begin my own life. Her name was Hester Reed, a sworn enemy of the 𝑐𝒊𝒂𝒂💏, a guerrilla fighter who spent decades opposing them. She was someone with far better principles than mine, from what I gathered. Well, whoever she was, her execution by my sire served to convince the New York City elites to give us 𝑧𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔 a chance. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. Hello, Nash. Welcome, Nash. A little nasally today. Then they set out to look for a mutually agreed-upon candidate who'd become the clan's rep in the city. Messiah searched for someone who gave the impression she was more than she appeared. The local court was looking for someone they could walk all over. After long negotiations, they decided I was a good compromise. They proceeded to systematically destroy my entire life, just to make me show I was psychologically strong enough to join their ranks. The turncoat special, they called it. Somehow, I succeeded. How was your day? I have the sniffles, so I sound very nasally. And eventually led me right back to where I started. I stopped writing and put my pen down. Will that be all? Yes, Mr. Ball, I hope you enjoy your stay in London. Oh, I very much doubt I will, just like every cultured person. I think the only good Englishman is a dead Englishman. Don't let Cupcon hear that. Just get the hell out. Not interested in a small talk with someone as sociopathic as her, I finished the formalities in silence. That will be all. 𝒂𝒂𝒎 said hello and farewell. Safe travels. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, psycho. Oh well. Ow. I'm the lone 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒎 in this town, and my representational role means jack shit. No title, no perks, no whatsoever. Right now, I'm the court's gopher, doing all kinds of work. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. Nobody else will touch. My main duties, being a sort of immigration officer. See, New York City is probably the biggest vampire travel hub in the USA, and definitely the biggest one on the East Coast. Almost every other kindred arriving from Africa and Europe comes through here. The local camera is nuts about bureaucracy and population control, so every vampire leaving or arriving in this town is supposed to check with me to inform me about their travels. Well, in theory at least, the VIPs play by different rules. They take care of this stuff through connections and servants. But for the smaller fish, I'm like a vampire Statue of Liberty. The first bloodsucker every kindred coming to New York City should see, on paper anyway. The first after the prince, or Kadir, the Primogen Council, these things vary. Yeah, I'm a naturally treacherous 𝒂𝒓𝒄𝒂💏, so they still prefer being traditional and hands-on about these things. As I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a gopher, and this work only serves to remind me I'm not quite in, just standing at the gate. They haven't even given me an office. I just meet everyone in public places, such as coffee shops or this fast food restaurant. Some consider this an insult and lash out at me, but luckily most of them understand we're in the same boat, only here because we're curs who need to be reminded of our place from time to time. Dots. Speaking of, my last client is 15 minutes late, and I still have more errands to run tonight. This is getting irritating. To be honest, I should just find some self-respect and leave. But I won't. My sorry upbringing left me with the stupid sense of responsibility. 10 more minutes pass. Eventually, an unfamiliar woman appears by the door. She tells someone to stand by the door and walks in. Long chestnut hair, body stuck in her late teens by the look of it. A fashionable scarf covering most of her face. Elegant clothes. Dignified walk. Briar lied about a 50-50. I'll screenshot it and I can show it to you, but it is 50-50. I'm gonna put it on screen real quick so you can see it's 50-50. There you go, it's 50-50. Even Mons have 50-50. Even I think that's members. Even members have 50-50. Yeah, it's 50-50. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, now I'll delete it now. Alright. I signal her to sit in front of me, trying my best not to let my impatience show. She obliges. Here to check in. I am Julia Sobinski, I presume. She's scanning her surroundings like we're at a circus. I hope you won't mind if I make it quick. I need it in Elysium. Name? Catherine Weiss. Huh. I swear I've heard that name before. Someone else's description of her crosses my mind. That weird lady who owns Art Hole but is never there? Weird. So it is her. Catherine Weiss, the owner of the Art Hole, de facto headquarters of the New York City Camarilla. For fuck's sake, Julia, what are you doing calling her weird right off the bat? God knows you've already made a fool of yourself in front of enough VIPs in the city. Recover. I'm sorry, it's just that I still don't know many people here, so I have to go by the descriptions I'm given by members of the Primogen. Well, the description is mostly correct. Outside of that one word that slightly perplexes me, pot calling the kettle black sounds like. From what I've gathered, it's just that your interests are rumored to be not fully aligned with Camarillas, and it irks some folks up there. Being the keeper of the Elysium is not enough for some, I see. I suspected as much, but what can you do? She seems chill. Good. Anyway, Catherine Weiss. Wow. Yes, want me to spell it? People often have trouble getting it right. Forgive my indiscretion, it's just that people of your stature usually don't bother checking in with me. They usually report their arrival to one of the Primogen, and they make all the arrangements. I heard Prince Panhard is busy with the preparations for a big party. I assumed that if I spared her some paperwork, she'd appreciate it as a gesture of goodwill. Besides, I wanted to meet the infamous 𝑺𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔 representative, out of sheer curiosity. My interest piqued once I heard about her. She looks around knowingly. Unique circumstances. Yes, Prince Helene Panhard had trouble justifying the exorbitant rents my property would need. That's literally pennies for her, and as far as I know, she's been sitting on an empty property since last year. Looks like they've got it out for you. Bad. That's what I assumed, but it's nice to get confirmation. Well, it's not like my clan has ever been particularly popular in these parts. At least that's what I've heard. Sins of the fathers and so on. Yes, just to make sure, you've never met Hester, but you know of her. I do know I wouldn't be here if not for her. Have you two met? No, I only heard her once or twice. We had similar outlooks on many issues, although we tended to come up with completely different solutions. In any case, I think it's meaningful that Hester died so you could live. They feared her, now they fear you, and that's why they're keeping you down. If anyone who's not a VIP said this to me, I'd laugh in their face. Oh, I get what she's doing. She's trying to buy my favors. Best not to act like I'm easy to please. Stick to business. Time will tell. In the meantime, I'll need you to help me out with my documentation. Of course. So, where are you coming from? Washington, D.C. She says it in the way people in Hollywood movies say it. The way that suggests her Washington is wildly different from the Washington you and I would see. Is it okay what vampire series shows books a movie? Are you paying a Briar? Well, this is one. I like Vampire the Masquerade. No, I did for movies. I did watch Interview with a Vampire. I kind of like that one. I haven't really read much vampire books though. I did read Twilight, but Twilight is unique, so to speak. Basically, I read it as a kid and I immediately sold it after I read it. Cause I bought it, then I sold it to someone after I read it. I read it once and I sold it. What were you doing there? Take a guess. Government work? Write that down. It ought to amuse Helene a little bit. You will say so. Did an hour of arrival? She takes out a plane ticket and slides it towards me. It's all here. 1 a.m.? Got it. Method of transit? Plane. Purpose of visit? Meeting with the prince. Ought to work just fine. I guess. Estimated duration of visit. Undefined. Right in 6 months if you really need to. Place of accommodation? Conditions of intended stay? The art hole? Conditions should be adequate. You tell me. I tend to be happy with Airbnb. Home sweet home. I'm not certain I ever felt particularly at home here. That makes 2 of us. Curious, do you have nothing holding you here? The face of a blonde-haired friend appears in my mind's eye, then vanishes. There's nothing holding me anywhere. I see. A prolonged silence. She stares into my eyes, and then I return to stare. She's studying me. It's unnerving, but I do my best not to turn away. Eventually, she smiles. Didn't you say you were short on time? Oh god, yes, 𝑺𝒕𝒓𝒂𝒎 will kill me. I quickly begin to collect my stuff from underneath the table. You can simply inform him I paid you a visit. He'll understand, and he'll pass it on to everyone who should be in the know. I'll do that. Sure thing. Good, we will see each other soon, I hope. The party tomorrow night? I, wasn't invited. She gives me a pitying look. I understand. Well, if not given the opportunity, we should make our own. I'll be in touch. Good night, Miss Weiss. I wish you a pleasant stay. Good night. And don't rush these things. You've got a whole life ahead of you, and you're in a position where you can take it easy. Take your time. Get a different perspective. I nod and walk slowly out the door. When I lose sight of the restaurant, I sprint toward the subway. Slow night? It's cut hair, and he tied his hair. He's got tied hair now. He's got a little ponytail. I like Twilight. It wasn't super deep, but the writing was smooth. I didn't hate it. I just didn't want to keep it. I just sold it. Like it was. I didn't hate it. I would say I didn't hate it. It was okay. The movies though. The movies very weird, but the books are also kind of weird. I would say they didn't have much to work on for the books and the movies. I wish. You're late again, by the way. I hope you have a good excuse. 𝒂𝒎𝒆 𝒂𝒎 the mighty sheriff of New York City, is not happy with me. No wonder. I met him in front of Elysium 30 minutes later than the time we had agreed on. 𝒂𝒎𝒆 looks kind of sexy. 𝒂𝒎𝒆 cleaned up well. Yeah, well, Catherine Fledgling Wise decided to arrive fashionably late. A likely story. She's supposed to be out of the city. If you think I'm pulling your leg, boss, feel free to check my report. I pass him all the official papers, the way I do every other night. 𝒂𝒎𝒆 stares me down for a good few seconds, then his steely gaze softens. You're serious. Weiss in McDonald's, with the mask and elegant clothes, surrounded by the smell of French fries and hamburger patties. That must have been one hell of a sight. Technically, it was BBB, not McDonald's, but yeah. God, I made such a fool of myself. First thing I did, I quoted somebody calling her a weirdo. I wanted to die on the spot. Serves you right, you walking faux pas. I've been trying to teach you to control your tongue, but you never learn. It's a new goth every week with you. Still, there's good news and bad news. The good news is, Catherine has a fondness for vampires of humble beginnings. Probably why she decided to see you in your, shall we say, natural habitat. She's one of those rich art scene assholes who seek out working class cred. I did say something about watching your tongue. The bad news is, she's very astute, so she can recognize a moron like you straight away. You never stood a chance at impressing her. Oh, shut up. You still need me for anything here? I'll get on straight away. I wouldn't be standing out here chatting with you if I hadn't taken care of my duties. 30 minutes is all it took to finish preparations for the big party. I'm about to see everyone off. Sorry. Couldn't be helped, I suppose. And it's more your loss than mine. And you could really use the chance to appear here on official duties, so everyone can get to know your face. Heaven knows your fast food job isn't gonna get you anywhere. You need to, what do they call it, hustle? You don't need to tell me that, but it's not like being paraded around for a bunch of blue-blooded douchebags is. He somehow manages to give me a painful nudge in the back without so much as a hint of visible movement. Language, you fool, they're coming out. Just stand here in silence for 5 minutes and focus on not embarrassing yourself any further, will you? Got it. The first two silhouettes appear in the doorway of the art hall. An old man in a wheelchair, pushed forward by his young servant. Haven't seen either of them before. He's very old looking. In the wheelchair. Mr. Payne? Wait. Mr. Payne, the night is still young. Hope you find the rest of it pleasant. Payne, the wheelchair. I've heard about him. Addison Payne, one of the American Camarillah's main connections to the government and Wall Street, disabled in quite a few ways, needs a servant to communicate. I'd be full of resentment if I was embraced in this condition, but apparently, Payne is nothing but grateful for his immortality. He keeps writing fervent defenses of the traditions and Camarillah customs. I must stay silent. He wordlessly shakes Kadia's hands, but doesn't even deign to acknowledge me. At least his servant gives me a small bow. I return it. They leave. Kadia turns to the next person leaving. High Regent, can't wait to see you in your outfit. Spare me, Sheriff. These fancy dress parties cause me enough suffering without your help. I can only hope you haven't conspired with Helene to embarrass me with this gift. She points to a shrink-wrapped set of clothes she's carrying inside her coat. Kadia smirks briefly. I didn't have to. As you well know, Prince Panhard displays a considerable foresight in the matter of party planning. Yes, if there's one thing she's deathly serious about, it's frivolities. A recognizably mortal quality, especially for a prince. We ought to celebrate it, not oppose it. Don't worry, Sheriff, I'm a big girl who knows her etiquette. I will play her game, amuse the crowd a little bit, and return to my study as fast as possible. Aisling Sturbridge, High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, a hero of the Battle of New York, the biggest warlock in town, could be a prince herself if she didn't have her eyes on a bigger prize. The thing is, nobody knows what that prize is. They only know it has something to do with the goal of her thaumaturgical research. Whoever tried to find out what it is failed violently. Oh, I'm sure. You're gonna have fun. Miss Sawinski here has just informed me Catherine Wise is back in town. It is safe to assume she will join our festivities. You're kidding me. She sends her regards. A negative reaction intrigues me, so I decided to give her another nudge. She told me to send her regards, and that she absolutely can't wait to catch up. Cheeky. That hint of torment on her face is less than I was counting on, but it will do. Wise, excellent. I'd love to catch up with her. The barely concealed venom in her voice clearly suggests that in fact she'd hate to catch up with her. Yes, it looks like tomorrow night will be very special, but for now I bid you adieu. And she's gone. Is there some kind of story between Aisling and Weiss that I should be aware of? That part about sending regards. That was a bold-faced lie, wasn't it? An innocent one. Overselling someone's courtesies. It's just good etiquette. You're unbelievable. Well, I doubt High Regent Sturbridge took it as a courtesy, considering she once attempted to call for a blood hunt on Weiss. Wow, why? I've heard 5 different versions of the story, and all of them seem plausible. Catherine's relationship with the city is odd, to say the least, but hush for now. He's obviously trying to kill the conversation, and the appearance of Thomas Arturo gives him a perfect way out. Mr. Arturo. All is mine. Keep up the good work, eh? Of course. Thomas Arturo. An architect by trade, he's a herald. What's a herald? I actually don't know what's a herald. Where's herald? Oh, harpy. Oh, harpy. Okay, it's a harpy. Means he spread gossip. A member of Prince Panhard's inner circle, an eccentric whose thoughts seemed to be 10 times faster than his words. Good night, Mr. Arturo. Ah, yes, yes. He disappears into the night. Well, that was brief. Maybe I should stand in their way. That might force them to properly acknowledge my existence. You severely underestimate their dedication to ignoring whelps like you. And just in case you're serious, I beg of you, don't. I've been meaning to ask you this for a while now, but never had the opportunity. You really hate Arturo's guts, don't you? He carefully measures his diplomatic response. I have no strong feelings about Thomas Arturo whatsoever. Yeah, well, considering you're always listing positives about every local Camarilla representative under the moon, you might as well have called him a C-word. Language whelp. And as for Arturo, I will share my opinion about him as soon as I come up with one that sticks for more than a week. A group of kindred emerges from the art hall, rushing toward the street. Only a noble-looking woman stops next to us. She's wearing a hijab, but curiously enough, doesn't hide her hair beneath it. Primogen. If you were rude enough to stare, you'd quickly notice the cloth serves mostly to cover up her horrifying scars. Kadir. Oh, and young Julia. I'm doing my best not to stare because Samira is one of the few New York City Camarilla figures who hasn't been an asshole to me yet. Still here, did the prince require a decline of the Hunt's counsel in some matter? Yes, I advised her that no matter how hard she tries, she shouldn't expect me to wear a different costume tomorrow night. She's the Banu Hakim Primogen. Just like the La Sombra, their clan was independent from the Camarilla until relatively recently. However, they negotiated a better deal than we did. They have a Primogen, for one. Hailing from the Middle East, the Banu Hakim are drawn to the practice of justice. The rules must be upheld, and every transgression punished. They don't have much say in New York City, but the prince often seeks their judgment. It's just good PR. I trust she was understanding. Those are beautiful clothes. Thank you so much. I'm eager to see the outfit you came up with. And how are you, Julia? Have you seen any lights at the end of the tunnel? Same old, same old. Same old, Samira. Still wandering in the dark, bumping my shin every 2 steps. Sorry to hear that. I trust you're pestering the prince and your superiors to improve your standing. It's a process. A herald is someone who brings news or announcement. Ah, okay. So they're not just a gossip. Oh, Julia. You won't achieve anything if you don't keep reaching for it. Hadia, weren't you supposed to teach her the ropes? I'm trying to, Primogen, but with this child, it's always a process. I can only wish you good luck then. Good night, Julia. Good night, Kadir. Good night. Have a safe trip. The art hall has to be almost empty by now. You like her, don't you? Stop with your class clown act, whelp. It only serves to reveal deep insecurities. Wow, that's harsh. It's factual. Were I as harsh as you claim? She did tell both of us to call her Samira, but you're still keeping your distance with that Primogen shit. Watch your profanity, and don't project your fantasies onto me. I won't give you a lesson about professional boundaries, but I suspect the way you will eventually learn it will be extremely unpleasant. Am I interrupting something good, folks? Even though I'm constantly pestering him, Kadir's composure is unshaken. His response comes swift and unfazed. How do you pronounce that name? Not at all, Mr. van der Weyden. Heading back to your office. You know me, my dear sheriff. Where else would I go? Now that's curious. Even though Carter van der Weyden is a primogen as well, Malkavian to be precise, I don't hear Kadir address him as such. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Oh, I absolutely will show up provided I can. But just in case, I already apologize for not making it to the prince. Simply drowning in work these days. The rhythms, tempo, and intonation patterns of his voice are so familiar. Half of it sounds like JFK, and the other half exactly like Barack Obama. I can't make a voice like that. Just like his appearance, it all feels so fake. He's old money, of course. Comes from a long line of Dutch merchants who originally settled in the New York region. Runs a wildly successful law office. Rubs elbows with elites of both kindred and kind varieties alike. He seems perfect in every way. And that's why he's so unnerving. He's a child of Malkav and must be blighted with some affliction. But whatever it is, he doesn't let it show. Hard not to wonder what he's hiding. The celebrations are planned to last all week. Surely you will find time. I pray I will, my good man. I pray I will. In case you need to reach me, you know where to find me. Have a good one. He doesn't even register my presence before leaving. Sometimes I think they're all still hoping I will simply go away. As Carter drives away in his limousine, Kadir shakes his head. You want to hear about which member of New York City Camarilla I dislike the most? Yes. He shoots me a knowing glance and smirks. Too bad. They're all my dear colleagues, and I deeply respect every single one of them. Sure you do. Wouldn't want to blurt out something that could lock you out of Mr. Wiedeweissen's legal services, would you ass kisser? I do expect to find myself in need of a good defense attorney when my broke, incompetent, and foul-mouthed assistant finally pushes me over the edge. Rude. Do you still need me here? I still need to swing by St. Patrick's tonight. Don't worry, we're almost done. The prince is coming out. The captain is the last person to leave the ship, huh? And there she is. Helene Panhard, the big kahuna, as someone I once knew would call her, the de facto ruler of New York City, and a self-professed patron of the arts. Kadir, a penny for your thoughts? You should be pleased to hear the High Regent is resigned to her fate, my prince. Mr. van der Weyden is decidedly not. I suspect he will be too busy to join the festivities all the week through. Excellent. She turns to me. Miss Sawinski, when she's supposed to accompany our good sheriff on his duties tonight? There was an unexpected change of plans. Catherine Weiss is back in the city. Catherine is here. Now that's a welcome surprise. But what does it have to do with you, Miss Sawinski? I took care of the paperwork. She said she didn't want to trouble you with all the paperwork regarding her arrival, Prince Panhard. It's all been taken care of. Kadir has already been informed of everything. That's certainly a nice gesture, but wait a minute now. Where exactly did you meet her? In a fast food restaurant, my prince. I see. Helene rubs her eyes. Catherine and her love for proletarian amusement. I suppose it will be a source of amusing anecdotes this week. If we want to avoid these situations in the future, it might be a good time to discuss offering Miss Sawinski an office of her own. We'll get to it eventually. There are more pressing matters at hand. The festivities start tomorrow, and there's still so much to be done. Will you make sure the art hole is secure before leaving? Certainly, my prince. Have a good night. Good night, Kadir. Good night, Miss Sawinski. We'll talk about your work soon, don't worry. Oh, hello, Paladinstein. Welcome. Welcome, Paladinstein. Of course. Good night, Prince Panhard. A chauffeur escorts her to a limo. There's an awkward silence between me and Kadir until the car disappears around the corner. More pressing matters, huh? Any for your thoughts, Sharon? I'm certain an image of a keeper of the Elysium, stuck in a fast food restaurant, will linger in Prince Panhard's mind. You're far closer to your goal than you were a few minutes ago. I'm pretty sure I heard you say something to that effect a few times now. And I stand by my words. Rome wasn't built in a day, Julia. As a Camarilla loyalist, don't you think it sucks that the Ivory Tower is so hell-bent on showing disrespect to my clan, they're actually willing to make fools of themselves in the process? We've all had to endure our own hazing rituals, but yes, the current situation is not ideal. Whatever. You need a hand closing up the Elysium? I'll manage. It's getting late. Better run. Some shadow in Chicago is probably impatient to get a copy of the reports you've given me. You've pleased one master. Now it's time to please the other. Yeah, there's the thing about working for two masters. Neither of them really thinks of you as their own. Not knowing how to reply, Kadir shrugs. I wave to him goodbye and head for the subway. When I reach St. Patrick's Cathedral, I'm greeted by a voice that grates on me like teeth on tinfoil. Oh, it's Benoit. Oh, is it Benoit? His name is Benoit, right? Well. The prodigal daughter returns. Oh my god, no. This is the one thing I didn't want to happen. Julia, please. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. What's Father Leonard? His clergy duties kept him from getting here on time. He sent me to apologize in his name and keep you company for a few minutes. That's the second thing he ought to apologize for. He just wants his flock to live in unity. I am more than willing to oblige him. Why won't you? For the last time, I'm not a part of his flock. We have a purely professional arrangement. I know you see it that way. The Knight Clan's tendency to stick close to the Catholic Church is their greatest virtue, but they still consider this relationship purely instrumental. This is why we need kindred like you to bring the spiritual change to your clan, to make them understand God's precious gifts. The closer they get to the light, the greater their shadows will become. He went full crazy! Benoit went full crazy! Again with his insufferable sermonizing. Benoit Segal here is a local nutjob and an ex-artist, a degenerate who had some sort of complete mental breakdown in the 90s. To recover, he took to religion for solace and guidance. At first, he proclaimed his readiness to devote the rest of his own life to studying Nordism. After a few years, though, he changed his mind and joined the Catholic Church instead. What is Nordism? What is Nordism again? The religious beliefs and studies pertaining to the origins of kindred, and the myth of Cain, the alleged OG vampire. I see. Vampire religion. Vampire Christianity. And now he is fully Catholic. As luck would have it, his neophyte's zeal found a major target in me. When I first met him, I was stupid enough to tell him I was raised Catholic and still identified as such. Somewhat. He immediately pictured me as some sort of force for change within the Camarilla, and set me out to put me back on the righteous path. Now he won't stop preaching to me, apparently, until I become a nun. Remember, the darkest place is directly beneath the candle. You turncoats have this unfortunate predisposition to find salvation right within your grasp, and then lose your way in the shadows. Both ways of pronouncing are correct. Without phonetics, I don't even know which is correct. I was told it's Benoit. I just don't remember if it's correct or not. Once he starts, he just won't stop. I guess it's time to bring out the big guns. By the way, I was meaning to ask, got any news about Sophie Langley? A painful grimace crosses his face, but doesn't linger. Kinda rude to change the subject, you know. Rude? I'm just looking for a topic both sides of this conversation would care about. You know, like any guide on etiquette says you should. Salvation is a topic close to anyone's heart, whether they admit it or not. And it's pretty bold of you to assume I care about Langley. I do not assume. I certainly you do. The second she retires from the public eye, you stop acting like Jesus-era Kanye and start acting like Jesus is King-era Kanye. Coincidence? Never had a geezer, Sarah. Do people really call it that? Here's how it's gonna work. Tell me what you know, I'll tell you what they say. And keep in mind, I didn't know she was your sire until a few nights ago. Hell, I haven't even met her. He winces a bit at me saying hell, but let's go. Sure, I figure you would have prodded that wound long ago if you knew. But what do you care anyway? Better to let you drone on about your tormented past than let you carry on with your good old missionary shtick. Professional curiosity. Once a journalist, always a journalist. He scratches his head and exhales in a sad mockery of a chuckle. Fine then, I'll do my best to make it short. Like you said, Sophie Langley, every New York kindred's beloved socialite, was my sire. We first met sometime after World War II. I left France right before the Nazis went around the Maggie not line. I struggled to keep my siblings alive with my aunt. Watched my brother die during the flu epidemic of 43. I was close to losing my mind. Bald. Okay, this isn't really bald. That's when she showed up. Said the sheer torment in my works caught her eye. She became my patron, allowed my talents to flourish, and supported me financially. Eventually, she embraced me. As a well-off kindred, my artistic interests started to naturally deviate from what they used to be back when I was a poor, mortal upstart. I began to see the world the way her social circle does. And that she couldn't forgive me. Instead of being a fun novelty, I became just another part of the malaise surrounding her. She grew distant and then stopped seeing me altogether. I've had my share of meltdowns because of this, I won't deny that. I locked myself out of many career opportunities, but it was an important lesson. Don't trust your elders. Vampirism affects them psychologically as well. If they take interest in you, they won't stop until they suck your soul dry, and then discard you like a broken toy. For the first time since I've known him, Cigar registers to me as something other than a Bible-thumping nuisance. Is it compassion I feel? Do I find him relatable? Ah, how dreadful. It's possible he's strategically trying to elicit sympathy. Maybe he heard about my dramatic exit from Lodestar. Or maybe he's just alluding to the way my sire left me here to fend for myself. It is only God who will never lead you astray. This is why I find your act so frustrating, Julia. You're so close to getting it, but you chose sin instead. That's the 𝑬𝒂𝒎𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔 I know. Almost had me fooled. Let's get back on track. What about Langley's disappearance from the city? Her path was a road to perdition. Wherever she ended up, I doubt she's too happy about it. She had plans for the future of the city. Wanted to make it her ultimate artwork. She was always a vain one. What does this game look scary? It's just a visual novel. It's not scary. It's about vampires. That's why it's kind of gothic looking. And of course, you are completely sure you have nothing to do with her disappearance. Please don't tell me you're getting at what I think you're getting at. Everybody says you've been acting like you're trying to repent for something ever since her vanishing act. And you've got a motive. Of course I'm getting at what you think I'm getting at. But Noah shakes his head. You really have a devil in your heart, Julia. Always testing me. Just asking what everyone's thinking. Are they now? Listen, I'm familiar with a lot of insults attached to my name in the city. Those aren't exactly compatible with the image of a ruthless killer. Finally, I work and can watch without interruption. Have a nice day at work, Yoko. Killer, huh? Now that's interesting. I haven't said anything about killing. He scrubs his hands over his forehead and collects himself before responding. Stop picking apart every word I say in this completely unpleasant way. Here's a statement if you really want one, Miss Hercule Poirot. Is it Poirot? Julia has a wool cut. Yeah, she's I like her design. She's pretty. Okay, hold on. I'm sniffling. I need to uh need to wipe my nose. I do believe Sophie, the way I knew her, has met her, and even if she's still walking and stuff, she won't come back here as, say, prideful aristocrat. She'd have to undergo a spiritual rebirth. Someone has reminded her of her place. Her former friends talk of her in hushed voices. Even a sobered play toy of her went missing. No more camera parties. She's done for. Whatever happened to her, I don't know. I swear on Jesus and his sandals, I had nothing to do with it. But yes, I'm still here and she's not, and it's not a reason to gloat, but to be more humble. I receive a sign from God, telling me to re-examine all the unfortunate ways I still remember Sophie Langley. And I listened. I rejected the pride I shared with her. I renewed my vows to God, recommitted to preaching his greatness. I mean, this is why we're having this conversation in the first place. Right now, when I think of Langley's influence on my life, I am grateful because she was a sign that got me here. And if God wills it, maybe one day you'll look at her the same way, Julie. Mental note whenever he circles back to his preachy tones, time to intervene. Alright. If it makes you feel any better, I think the only way a wimp like you could have hurt her was by boring her to death with Bible quotes. Now then, quid pro quo, tit for tat. We're saying people still talk about me. I was curious if... Oh, look who's finally here. Stalling for time worked. Father Leonard rushes in our direction, carrying a folder of documents under his arm. I assume it's the one I came here for. Father Leonard. Christ be praised, Julia. Yesterday I was told this is how priests greet their parishioners in Eastern Europe. Forever and ever, amen. Actually, I think we said each other's lines. Never mind. Another long night? Isn't it taking a toll on you? No need to worry. These days I sleep a few hours a day, short naps take care of the rest, and there's always work to be done. I apologize for being late. At least I managed to get here before you and Benoit went for each other's throats. Good, I was getting worried. Oh, who do you take me for, Father? He takes you for a total bozo who's about as effective as converting people as a documentary about pedophilia in a Catholic church. He's just too kind to say it out loud. Ouch. You're what I have to deal with, Father. But don't worry, we'll make a saint of her yet. Forget saint. For now, it's settled for an adult in the room. Passive-aggressive, Marge? Excuse me? Asking for an adult in the room is not solving a problem, it's abdicating responsibility. Julia, you know exactly what I mean, so please don't get spun with me. I don't sound like my mother, maybe? An adult in the room, Julia. All I'm asking for here. He gives me a folder he was carrying with him, and I pass him the reports I wrote earlier tonight. Among kindred... Wait. Poirot. Puado. And I was only making a jokes before the French. I blame my English. Actually, let me go and check the pronunciation. But Noah is such a tuber. He is. Pronunciation. Let me find. How to pronounce Hercules. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm gonna watch a short video. Puado. Okay, thank you. Puado. Not Poirot. Puado. Among kindred, it is common knowledge that the Catholic Church is one of 𝑪𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔's greatest assets. Hell, it might even be one of the main reasons the Camarilla is slowly warming up to the clan. We are technologically impaired, and as such, woefully prepared to face the challenges of communicating in the 21st century. Hard to handle advanced encryption where you can't even unlock a smartphone. This is where the Vatican connections enter the picture. A web of priests scattered all around the world exchange our dispatches between each other, making sure they all reach their destinations in total secrecy. I was told not everyone in the Holy See is friendly to our kind, but the most shrewd and talented usually are. You could say they're like a mortal camarilla, better than any intelligence agency. Remember what happened to John Paul I, when he attempted to uncover the workings of the Institute for the Works of Religion, death after 33 days of papacy, rumors of CIA and Masonic involvement. Not that Father Leonard has anything to do with all this. For a Catholic priest, he's alright. He'd probably have made me stay a believer a few years longer than I did, had I known him as a teenager. Leonard is intelligent, kind, helpful towards his parishioners, treats his superiors with a healthy dose of skepticism, and is not involved in any sort of political church games. Or at least not beyond helping me contact my bosses in Chicago every other night or so. He knows about the kindred, and he knows about the Second Inquisition. He opted to avoid the latter in order to keep the former from oppression, because according to him, is the right thing to do. I know there's got to be something wrong with him, some selfish motivation maybe, and I haven't nailed it down yet, but it doesn't feel like he's making an effort to hide it, so I'm giving him a pass. By the way, I hope you don't mind, I finally took the liberty of asking how your parents are doing. Thank you, Father, but you shouldn't have. No problem. A priest at St. Stanislaus Kostka is a good friend. He says your parents started showing up every Sunday again. Front rows, your father's looking better and better. It makes me feel nothing, but I still give him a token nod and a grateful smile. Thank you, Father Leonard. Now if you'll excuse me, the sunrise is almost here. Yes, be careful, and God bless you. Amen. Goodbye, Julia. I'll let you off the hook this time, but next time you won't be so lucky, alright? Sure. Just one more thing on my never-ending list of events I'm not looking forward to. Guess it's time to call it a night. I'm home. Finally. Wait, what was your voice again? I don't remember. Finally. You doing alright? Fine, I guess. Why aren't you asleep? I figured it's finally time for me to become more of a night owl. We've talked about making our schedule sync better. Watch your vitamin D. I'd kill to have your skin. Would be ashamed to waste it. Shouldn't have smoked so much before you got bitten, sweetheart. Should have scared your skincare routine with me back when I was still breathing. I can't just be going around sharing my one secret weapon. It's top secret stuff. MK Ultra level, Jeffrey Epstein's current whereabouts level. I have to kill you if I told you. Dying sounds good. Just go ahead and off me anyway. It'll be a mercy kill, honestly. Don't talk like that. Anything you want to share? Never mind. I feel a little more self-conscious than usual tonight. Do you want me to do your makeup before you go to sleep? No need. No need? Weren't you supposed to have some sort of big party tomorrow night? Heh, I was involved in the backstage stuff. What makes you think I was invited? Because you're the coolest, cutest, and most all-around amazing person I know? They'd be insane not to put you on the list. Believe it or not, but most vampires are pretty insane. Interdimensional, psychic, vampire level insane, because that's how crazy they'd have to be to ignore you like this. Yeah, I would say so. But then, a big bunch of posh dicks. They hate you because they ain't you, but they'll see. Jesus, how do you do it? Do what? You always assault me with so much of this weird, stupid positivity that I can't react to it without completely shifting my mental attitude. How do you do it? No, the answer is easy. Remember how I told you we have this spiritual connection? I can sense what you feel and want. You can sense what I feel too, if you really focus. Yeah, I think I called it a big load of bullshit. Is that a girl who talks to ghosts? But watch this, Agent Scully. I sense you feeling down, and I realize what you really need to end this night. She points to one of her drawers. Is the one where she keeps her supply of ketamine? Come on. What? No, wrong drawer. We're not meeting demons, we're meeting angels. MDA? Ding ding ding, took it half an hour ago. Perfect timing, thanks to our spiritual connection. Wait, are they on drugs? Ready to fly away? The mood isn't right. I need music. Got a special SoundCloud playlist ready to go, prepared specifically to uplift one Julia Sawinski. Just give me a sign and I'll press play. Jesus, you're impossible. And that's why you love me, I hope. I give up. Come here, let me have a taste of you. Maybe this one time, the high won't end. Yum 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 yum. Tasty blood. Tasty drugs. Drug blood. I leave Dakota's apartment as soon as the sun goes out. Yesterday was fun, but I always feel a little nervous when I spend too much time with her. She never lets me escape from being the center of attention. It's exhausting. At least the less time I spend with her, the happier she is to see me again. It's a tricky act to balance, though. I am grateful for her presence in my life, but never mind. What's on my list of chores tonight? Ah yes, the only one thing. Don't show up for the party at the art hole. Well, this is the rare night when I don't have anything to do. Might as well take a trip around the city and see what's up. Maybe fix myself a little drink while I'm at it. A walk in the park or breaking the habit. I can do one thing, so I have to pick between these two. I need to break out of this mood, go somewhere I never visit, see something I tend to avoid. What's the least you place to live a little? Oh, walk in the park. Go and eat. I think we can do something interesting. Go to breaking the habit. What was I thinking? I mean, even the most hopeful and hopeless introverts yearn for the company. Every now and then, be it the company of someone they know or a total stranger revealing themselves to be the soulmate they've always sought. Even for someone as neurotic as me, there's something enthralling in the idea of briefly trading your individualism for a place in the crowd. You can just wander around and stare like a peeping Tom hidden in plain sight. If there's anything missing from the shell of my previous social life, it's that intangible sensation, being a part of a living mass. But really, Coney Island of all places? What was I thinking? Surely it's my ID finally revealing what I've been missing all along. All my sick soul really wanted was to nibble on a Williams caramel apple while taking an overpriced Wonder Wheel ride. Well, I'm here. Might as well try at least one of these tourist traps. I have no... the Thunderbolt. Is that a roller coaster? Of all the nearby roller coasters, this one seems to attract the least attention. Perfect. I take a seat in the most weathered cart, buckle up, and prepare to force some enjoyment out of myself. After a few minutes' ride, I realize why everyone gives this place a wide berth. To say it was underwhelming would be an undeserved compliment. Not that I expected anything else, but still, I'm not sure what I was hoping for. Amidst a cloud of cigarette smoke, I notice an old woman perched silently by the wall. She looks like one giant wrinkle, but her gaze is lively and pierces right through me. I pull the crumpled package out of my back pocket, my last smoke. As I raise the lighter, some pompous dick, preoccupied with his visibly bored girlfriend, shoves a cigarette out of my hand. Somehow it's his half-assed apology that pisses me off the most. The urge to drink him dry strong, but I let it pass. I look beneath my feet. I can hear the old crone cackling as my cigarette sinks into the only puddle in the vicinity. Fudge. I turn towards the exit and notice some brawny dude closing in on me. The way he's dressed has some uncanny aura, as Steve Buscemi walking through a high school corridor in a skater outfit. How we doing, fellow kids? Except that Steve Buscemi is 1,000 times cooler than this guy. He gets right in my face and hands me a cigarette, pulling up a rather annoying smoke. Having a bad night, sweetheart? What's with all the meta jokes? It's because this is just a very modern character. Don't respond. I looked the other way and attempted to walk past him. He completely disregards my reluctance and started waving his hands erratically, like a second-hand mime. That's a shame. But hey, you seem like a girl who likes to have fun. I know these things. I have something here just for you. Want to check it out? Throughout his bizarre peacock dance, his colorful wristband pops up from behind his sleeve. Shit, man, how clueless can you be? Is this a hidden camera show? Or maybe you're just some newbie being hazed by the rest of your undercover unit? If I keep ignoring him, I'll walk away, but he's persistent as a toothache. Yo, you can't handle my obvious charm. I see how it is. Don't worry, Chica. Hey, where are you going? Well, I can be pretty persistent, too. I keep walking. Come on, you came here looking for amusement, didn't you? Got just a thing for you. I raised my middle finger without even looking back. Hey, don't be like that. I seem to have struck a nerve, and he doesn't know how to handle it. Come on, big guy, just give me a reason. Well, fudge you too, Now that's just rude, and begs for a reaction. I'ma walk away. He might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's probably not alone. I'm sure I could take him and his pig friends, but I don't feel like getting tased in the face tonight. Would a taser even work on me? Might not be the right time to find out. Right now, it's time to leave this shit show behind. Goodbye, officer. Guess that's enough human interaction for one night. One more to Big Beak Burger, into the last fast food joint I'll ever know. The usual. The first time I used this line, I wasn't sure it would work, but I've gained enough notoriety among the staff that it does. The cashier just smiles, nods, and charges me for one black coffee. I can imagine them instructing the newbies. See that emo weirdo? Here's how it is. She always orders a single cup of coffee, nothing else, and she doesn't even drink it. Probably wouldn't take a single sip even if I was still alive. This stuff is just trash, but at least being a buying customer gives him an excuse to sit here for as long as I want to. I wish I could use one of those self-order kiosks to minimize human contact, but touchscreens don't exactly like me. Not too long ago, I managed to blue screen 10 of them in a row. Well, the good news is it doesn't look like I have anything to do tonight. The bad news is because every kindred who matters is having fun at the art hole right now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning for that gifted membership. Thank you. Iran 𝒂𝒎𝒂𝒍� got it. Thank you for that gift membership. She's hot. Yeah, she's very pretty. The bad... Oh, wait, I already read this. It's not like I wanted to go. I just wanted them to invite me so I could tell them to F off. I scanned the entrance to the restaurant through my peripheral vision. Why for now? She is us. We are her. Am I naively hoping someone will come and save me from my misery? Guess I am. Please, 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 let somebody come and get me out of here. A prince, a princess, a knight in shining armor, a fairy godmother, a passing huntsman, big bad wolf, Milla Jovovich, Vin Diesel, Azalea Banks. Hell, I'll take anyone at this point. Dots. Visualizing, tapping into the power of my subconscious, materializing my dreams. Dots. Nope, doesn't work. Looks like you're internally stuck being a nobody in the corner of a shitty restaurant, sweet little Julia. And life's a bitch, and then you don't even die. I pretend to read a book about psychoanalysis I stole from Dakota for a while. Having found it too mentally taxing, I switched to pretending to read a Stephen King book, which I also stole from Dakota. After the terrifying realization that it was written in the last 15 years and therefore contains no amusing drugged-out rants about troubled childhood in Maine, I switched back to looking at the entrance. That party must be so stuffy and trashy and boring. At this point, I'm no longer looking for salvation. I'm asking for amusement. But it doesn't come. All I get is boring bozos in normcore clothes. They walk in, take care of their business without doing anything to amuse me, and walk out. A few minutes after I lose all hope, a tall, elegant man marches in with a spring in his step. He looks around, impatient, irritated. Then he notices the person he was looking for and reacts with visible relief. He gallantly approaches my table, looks at me and says, "There you are." "It's clear." Now that's curious, he shouldn't be here. "Vin Diesel?" Looks like my prayers were answered. Vin goddamn Diesel is here, ready to take me away from this dreadful place in his shining Dodge Charger. He doesn't even know how to react. "Is Michelle Rodriguez in trouble again? Have you made up with The Rock? Will we get justice for Han? Are we going to a race? Will you teach me how to live my life a quarter mile at a time?" My dumb attempt at self-amusement doesn't faze him at all. He doesn't even roll his eyes, just stares at me blankly. Probably never even watched a single Fast and Furious movie. "Grab your stuff and get in my car. Now." His tone leaves no room for doubt. Something bad has happened. I want to ask what, but whenever he's in his "I will simply ignore all the dumb shit you say" mode, I know better than to ask questions. Instead, I silently follow him to the exit. He guides me to his car. I just hope I haven't messed anything up. Again, I don't think I have, but have I? Pity his car. As usual, he gave me the back seat. He's always uneasy when the passenger seat is taken. Doesn't want anyone to limit his peripheral vision, he says. Normally, I'd catch him observing me in the rearview mirror, but this time he's watching the streets, more tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. "I've got my seatbelt on and my popcorn ready. What's up?" The awkward silence feels like it will last forever. Eventually, he finds the right words and speaks up. "6 weeks ago, the prince told me to parlay with the anarchs at the docks. Remember?" "Yeah, and you made me tag along so that I could learn something about politics." As it turned out, politics meant something awfully similar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at a wedding party. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil. The meanest one in the room was their leader. White hair, a monocle, musty clothes, with the fledgling pull-out C-word. Boss Callahan. Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panache, old-timey bravado, and gender insults flung my way. What was his name? Something British, maybe think of Hollywood. Callahan? Baron Callahan. Douglas, Boss Callahan. Right, it's 2020, but the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in 1920. Weren't the anarchs supposed to be the progressive option? I never understood why they put up with him. He has his ways of predicting which way the wind will blow. Anytime Camarilla or the SI hit the anarchs, it was the factions opposed to him that were hooked. The luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't believe in luck. I don't, but it sure looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Huh. Wait, don't tell me. He's dead. Deader than dead. I'm 99% sure the bastard met his final death. How do you know? We've got trustworthy sources in the inner circles. Looks like all hell's about to break loose. There's an emergency meeting at the art hall. Jesus, and you're bringing it with you. Why? Is this an alternate timeline 2020? Maybe it's like early 2020. It's probably early 2020. I mean, they did say March. Because you were on the way. Because I could. Because I should. You might not be important to the members of the court, but you're still an asset to the sect. Symbolically, at least. I can justify sneaking you into the party, claiming it's for your own protection. As always, my very own Vin Diesel takes care of his familia. Wait a minute, though. The party is still happening? I called the prince, told her the best course of action is stopping it, and started listing security protocols I prepared for this sort of situations. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party is that important, huh? Politics. Politics is that important. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or himself. And once again, politics sounds an awful lot like a bunch of party-loving assholes shouting at each other. Don't worry, this isn't kind of, how should I call it, governing issue the likes of you and I tend to deal with. And how would you describe the governing issues we tend to deal with? Dots. Shoveling ourselves out of shit. As usual, he seems a little embarrassed for cussing, or for being too honest. Either way, it's cute. No argument here. And that's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off toward the unknown. I'm not a New York City Baron. The Baron of New York City, if you please. Once more, a memory of the old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crosses my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Sayonara, asshole. And here I am, at the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight, the art hole. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seems lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? No idea. Do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's a bouncer? Yes, and he's standing right in front of you. Just start walking, whelp. And here I am, among partying elites. It's as stuffy and boring as I expected, but hey, at least it's exclusive. The title Panhard came up with for these yearly gatherings is called Celebrations of Power, an invitation to re-examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the spaces they inhabit. The week-long event is packaged as a sort of performance art piece, meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate their potential instead of despairing at their monstrous nature. We need to counter-program the omnipresent images of tragic vampirism with images that remind us we have inherited the earth and are free to remake it in our image, is the way our prince puts it. To this end, she organizes a series of exhibits, concerts, fireworks, parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. My prince. Kadir, finally. A saint with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. I take a good look around. Half of the figures here are dressed like they're attending a mass ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. I have to admit, I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panhard based it on psychomagic, a sort of shamanic psychotherapy using the power of art. Simply put it, it's a holy mass and unholy mass in equal measures. A set of rituals meant to make the participants wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best the birth has to offer. Put on this mask, at the very least you're standing out. It's so silly. It's a weird little... Here. I heard the aesthetic basis for these parties is the black mask in the film's Eyes Wide Shut. Some think this decision means Panhard is tone deaf, but it's quite the contrary. She knows the anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through art and rhetoric that point out glaring contradictions in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the elites, she embraces them. Instead of risking a Streisand effect, she effectively defangs the opposition. The resistant become parts of the system, and both the Camarilla and the anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as a pathology. Think of it as the new normal. I'll collect the key advisors. They've already been told to come here. I don't think there's need for us to hold the meeting in a particularly secluded place. We'll just do it over there. Are you certain? Absolutely. Wait, is that Miss Sawinski I see behind you? Now we're gonna let Kadir talk. I nudge Kadir to take over. I collected her on my way here because of her role as a La Sombra representative. Just say political hostage. You people have made it perfectly clear what's going to happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the art hall. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Let her stay with you for now, Alice Mai. Time is of the essence. I did notice him sneak up on us. Nice getup. Are you absolutely sure? But of course, everything we say here is going to be an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Panhard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl toward the basement, led like a lamb to the slaughter. Best not to think too deeply about what's going on underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I'd like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, Alice Mai. All the appropriate security protocols for you are already active. Me and the prince have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control. Never let anyone sleep any easier. Alice Mai, I know that the prince's sword. You're aching for blood, but you have to accept that, like most weapons men, you're the most effective hidden in the sheath. Listen here now. Looks like a fascinating philosophical discussion in the making, but sadly I'm forced to interrupt. Prince Panhard. All of a sudden, Samira appears behind the two men, her calm and collected voice completely changing the atmosphere, as expected for a self-professed protector of peace. Samira, I hope you're enjoying yourself. To be quite honest, I feel out of place. She nods and smiles at me, probably to signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of water. Especially now, seeing as I heard this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense, we have a delicate matter to discuss, one that might require severe judgment down the road. I think you will understand why I wish for a child of Hakim to be involved. Of course, what is with that expression on your face, Kadir? He quickly collects himself. Look who's joining us. The High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, Lady Aisling Sturbridge, walks up to our group in an outfit I would have never imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the course. She's got new devil horns. Prince Panhard, the Sheriff the Harpy, the Banu Hakim Primogen, are we still waiting for someone? He's almost here. Shining even more brightly than usual, Aisling. I adore your outfit, Samira. Wish the prince would have allowed the same amount of effort for me. I, for one, am glad she didn't. I particularly love those horns. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she's had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Well, this will do for now, but you're not off the hook yet. I paid a costly price to see you like this. Both Kadir's and the prince's voices are strained whenever they attempt humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere, and it's not a happy place. Arturo, on the other hand, seems calm. We all celebrate our power, in different ways, I suppose. Now what is this about? Just a moment. Over here, Addison. The cameraless and famous spokesman approaches, pushed towards us in a wheelchair by his servant. I lean. Everyone, I suddenly hope this is something important. What a commanding tone. Seeing as Payne can't communicate normally, his servant relays his words to us instead, and he's posh and snobby to make me believe I'm listening to his master's voice. Carter will be joining us. He gave us fair warning he might not be able to make it tonight. I've messaged him the details. I'll have to find time to meet him later then. Finding time, searching for lost time. I swear it's all I do nowadays, and there's never enough. I guess you understand why I insisted that this event must last all week. So many esteemed guests, many of them from out of town, each deserving at least a few hours. The figure in the wheelchair waves his hand impatiently. Yes, let's just cut to the chase now, shall we? That might be the wisest course of action. My prince? Achiro? My prince, everyone, let me begin by stressing these important points. The situation is actually under control, the negotiations are underway, and the situation is more tense than dangerous. We are safe. Let me repeat, we are safe. And with that out of the way, here's the big news. Baron Callahan, de facto leader of the Anarchs in New York City, met his final death in his office last night. How did you find out? We have a good friend near his office. Their intel is as accurate as it gets. We've also established a negotiation channel with the Anarchs. They gave us all the confirmation we needed. Was our court involved in his destruction? I look at her in disbelief. So does everyone else. Not that the same thought hasn't passed through my head, but to simply exclaim it like that. Oh, hello there. Welcome, new Mare. Thank you for dropping by. Oh, spare me the virtue signaling. I thought we were being transparent here. I don't give a damn if we took care of Callahan or not. I just want to have a clear idea of what I'm dealing with. Yes, a clear answer. I need that too. To my knowledge, none of us present here ordered his destruction, nor did we participate in it. Unless someone wants to confess, it's now or never. Of course, nobody speaks up. Arturo pretends to clear his throat. That's our official position as well. The Camarillah's ruling body had nothing to do with it, and for all intents and purposes, his Anarch contenders had more interest in removing him than we did. That interest is sure to manifest in one way now. His former enemies will prop him up as a martyr for the cause. Yes, which is why we sadly can just leave the Anarchs to their own devices. As much as we like to avoid recognizing their sect in any way, we've offered to assist them in an official investigation. Addison Payne's wrinkled face contorted slightly. Let me ask you one question. You do realize those curs have no respect for our traditions, yes? We do, Addison, but as a veteran politician, you should be deeply familiar with the words controlled opposition. I am back again. How are you? Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Yes, for now, it's impossible to fully contain the Anarch threat in New York. For now, our only option is to prop up a candidate who will offer the least resistance to our future plans for the city. We extend our hand to the most promising contender, giving him a way to present himself as a diplomat, a man of reasonable compromise. The rabble falls in line. The purists grow angry and alienated. We've already contacted the best possible person in their sect. He will oversee the investigation, and it is his best interest to show he's able to resolve the situation. Addison ponders the question for a while, then waves his hand again. It is. Proceed. Funny thing, nobody's paying any attention to me right now. Keep in mind, Mr. Payne, our man's people will still barely tolerate us, and the situation is volatile. The other factions within that sorry excuse for a sec might still try to escalate the conflict. I will do my best to solve this situation as fast as possible. How so? Kadia is momentarily taken aback by a tourist's question. I volunteered to coordinate the case for the Anarch's cause. I refuse. You have more important duties to focus on. Once more, Kadia is stunned. With all due respect, Prince, but if you don't consider me capable of tackling this issue and attending to my usual duties at the same time, I think you gravely underestimate me. Your penchant for working yourself to the bone is well known and appreciated by everyone in this room, Sheriff, but so is your perfectionism. If we do grant your wish and let you investigate while still fulfilling your routine obligations, can you guarantee you're going to give both these tasks your best? I can guarantee something very close to my best. Close to your best doesn't cut it, Almas Mai. Not when the vultures are out in the force. Callahan's destruction is sure to cause unrest among the anarchs, and there's an obvious outlet for their pent-up rage. I want to make this perfectly clear. The celebrations will continue as planned, no matter what. This is why your presence here is absolutely necessary, Sheriff. We rely on your constant protection. Of course, my prince. We must be on constant vigil for a few days. Allah's my sword must be constantly pointed at the enemy surrounding us. The timing of the Baron's destruction is impeccable. The Anarch leaders are sure to point at us and claim we're shamelessly celebrating his end. Does anybody believe it's just a coincidence? Murders are messy, almost as messy as politics. It's impossible to reliably predict the outcome of any violent action. I think it'd be wise of us to brace for a lot of unfortunate coincidences, Ainsley. In any case, the rabble can't be the impression that their power struggles are of great concern to us, but they also can't think we have something to hide, which brings me to my point. We do need a symbolic gesture, one displaying expertly measured intensity. My best bet is a humble diplomatic envoy, a low-level official acting as an investigator of sorts. I implore you, Prince. Could you hear? He bites his tongue and struggles to collect himself. I rarely see him lose his temper, at least when the Camarilla is involved. What is going on? I wonder about your suggestion for this role. After all, it's not particularly prestigious, but carries a lot of responsibility. We're still talking about a Camarilla representative. Oh, I think it's a very obvious candidate. Both he and Kadir look at me simultaneously. Everyone else in the room does too. Now wait a second, he can't possibly mean... Miss Julia, once again, your full name eludes me in the moment. Am I allowed to speak, or maybe I should wait for permission? Before I make up my mind, the sheriff sighs deeply and speaks up. Sawinski. Miss Julia Sawinski, right. I understand you used to be an investigative journalist before your embrace. Yes, that's correct. Among others, the Banu Hakim Primogen insisted you are worthy of greater privileges and should be given a chance to prove yourself. Samira measures Arturo with suspicion. Yes. Do you still think she's capable? She looks me deep in the eye. I swear she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, please, please don't fuck this up, you dumbass little white girl. Of course. Good, and I'm sure you, Alice, might have no problem with your protege embarking on this mission, save for the pain the mother feels when watching her child leave the nest. Whether I do or don't is not particularly important right now, is it? It absolutely is. Panhard's backing of Arturo momentarily blindsides him. Prince Panhard, If Arturo's plan is reckless, I want you to tell me. I need a simple yes or no answer. Is the girl capable? Now he knows he's left with no choice. I wouldn't entrust her with all the responsibilities that I have if she wasn't. He exchanges glances at me, but his look is different than Samira's. It's as if he is trying to apologize to me. Here we are, then. A recommendation from the Banu Hakim Primogen and the sheriff. To tell you the truth, I was just throwing out ideas, but with this backing, I can't doubt the nightclub's representative will get the job done. I'm certain each of us feels the same. Mr. Payne? The atmosphere in the room mostly suggests people are glad they don't have to discuss the topic further. A shrug here and averted gaze there. It is as you say. I will watch the way she handles the situation with great interest. Well then, Miss Sawinski, it looks like you've got your chance for a big break. Just tell me what to do. Yeah, just point me in the right direction and tell me what to do. No point in pretending I have a choice here, is there? Excellent, that leaves us with only one more matter, which I hope we can all agree on. Prince Panhard signals someone with their hand. The figure emerges from behind the corner. Good evening. Catherine, what a pleasant surprise. Nobody informed us you were in town. Addison, looking healthier than ever. And what does Wise have to do with it? We need an impartial observer who everyone respects, and as it happens, Catherine always knew how to make friends on both sides, without angering either. I beg to differ. I'd be grateful if just for once you decided against throwing a tantrum about me, High Regent. A painful grimace crosses Ainsing's face, but she is quick to interpret the taunt as an invitation to a game she can't possibly win. As long as she can prove herself useful to the proceedings in some way. If half of what I heard about her from Mr. van der Weyden is true, she should be able to. And what did Port Carter say about me this time? Nothing specific. One always has to read between the lines with him, but it was mostly envy. Miss Wise gracefully agreed to mediate between the Anarch representative and the 𝑪𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔 representative, ensuring mutual cooperation and mitigating potential conflicts. That felt like a Freudian slip. 𝑪𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒏𝒅𝒔 representative, not Camarilla representative, i.e. someone who can be catapulted from the sect without much damage to the ivory tower if they mess up. Is there a meeting set up? Arturo looks at the clock on the other side of the room. In less than an hour. You better hurry then. What the hell? Oh, this is happening so fast. If the situation is indeed under control, I will drive her and oversee the situation. Out of the question, you've got your orders, Sheriff. Attend to those. You fool, the girl needs guidance. And we need yours. Nobody knows what might happen next. But it's not as if the Anarchs have a lot of love for you, Alice Mai. You're too efficient in your duties for them to tolerate you. Better spam is Sawinski having them see you two together. Yeah. Do you think my guidance of Julia would be lacking, Kadir? I never said that. So, do you have any objections to putting her under my care? He lowers his gaze, but seems reassured. None whatsoever. That's all I needed to hear. We'll be going then. Wasting no time as usual, I see. Have you at least tried the apparatives? Waiting is an old person's game, Helene. I still feel young. Remember, if there's anything you need help with. Probably not, but I appreciate the thought nevertheless. Have a great night, everyone. I'll catch up with you later, Addison. I certainly hope you do. And so we leave, in a rush. Funny, considering what she told me about being in a hurry yesterday. We're here. She thanks the chauffeur and lets me out of the car into a quiet neighborhood, somewhere in Queens. Seems like you were in a rush. I couldn't stand a crowd. She's honest, probably performatively so, just to get in my good graces. Always working. And why is that? In my experience, gatherings like those always enable a boring pack mentality. All the familiar lies we tell ourselves to justify lusting for more, repeated ad nauseum. I need guidance. No time for philosophizing, I need help now. Back at the art hall, you said something about guiding me, but I have zero idea what to do, none whatsoever. I had a few necessary arrangements over the phone I had a few necessary arrangements to make over the phone before we got here to ensure your pretty little head stays attached to your neck. For now, anyways. I'm grateful, but I still feel way out of my depth. I need to know what to do. You used to make a living as an investigative journalist, did you not? Investigated the murder. In TV shows where an investigative journalist gets too close to the heart of a politically incendiary case, it rarely goes well. A cat's head on the porch, a bullet to the head. So, are you afraid you might be a pawn in a game you don't understand? That the elders consider you a disposable asset? That a single wrong move might cost you everything you hold dear? That sounds about right, yeah? Well, by the sound of it, you understand your situation perfectly. Don't belittle me. I need your advice. Be anything you want, but don't be boring, Julia. If I wanted to belittle you, I would have drowned you in platitudes long ago. Know thyself. Believe in your strength. Trust no one. Act confident. Turn the chessboard around and read your opponent's mind. Read Sun Tzu and quote him incessantly. Say, you feel any better now? Can I ask you something? Seeing as Mia is still not here? Of course. Do you know who killed Baron Callahan? I haven't the slightest idea. Were you emotionally impacted by his death? Not at all. Did you know him? Only passingly, I'm afraid. I expected him to perish sooner than later, so I never bothered to improve our relationship. Why are you helping me? Am I? That remains to be seen. What do you mean? You do not want a painfully honest answer. But I do. She stares me down. Her irreverent tone makes it impossible to guess what she's feeling, even more so than the mask. When I look at you, I see someone pitiful, someone whose hunger is purely biological, just an animalistic rush. When I saw a burgeoning plan to put you in a situation that is way beyond your capabilities, I offered my help. I was curious to see your true colors reveal themselves, Wilson. When everything is said and done and Callahan's killer is pointed out, will you be a whimpering animal or a victor taking the spoils? I cannot wait to figure it out. I don't know what to say. Is she provoking me or... Mia should be here any second. You have time for one more question. Oh my... Why do you hide your face? I shouldn't ask that. What makes you so important? Why do you hold so much sway over the city? I have the best occupation in the world, and I made sure nobody is better at it than I am. And the occupation is a socialite. And that was your last question. Direct the rest of them to her. A woman around my age emerges from around the corner of the street. I never met her before, but if I had to describe her in 2 words by her aura alone, I guess that those words would be permanently angry, even more so than your average Anna. You must be Catherine Wise. You must be Mia Morgan. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure's mutual. This your girl? Julia Sawinski, the 𝑪𝒓𝒆 primogen. The 𝑪𝒓𝒆 representative. I correct her automatically. At this point, it's a habit. Good. If you were a primogen, I might have tried to kill you here and now. Is Talk still on the site? Nah, I told him to take it from here. By the end of tonight, he needs to look like a natural candidate for the leader of the New York City Anarchs. It's going to take a lot of driving around and negotiations. How did he react to finding Callahan's remains? He hasn't exactly elaborated on his feelings, but I expect he reacted the same way every true believer in this cause did. It's a complicated mess of all the possible feelings under the moon. So he was the first one to see the murder site? Oh, you're already calling it a murder site. Does the Ivory Tower know something we don't? It's not the official position, but I expect a lot of them think it's Talk who stood to benefit the most from the boss's death. And it sounds like he's quick to jump on new opportunities. You don't know him. Yes, but I'd love to meet him and ask him some questions, especially if he was the one who found the body. Well, if you're meeting Talk at all, it won't be tonight. It's too busy. I was assigned to investigate. I won't be able to do it properly if I'm not able to question a key witness. I'll arrange for him to see you this week. This week? Aren't the tensions a little too high for delaying an investigation like this? Well, Talk's work is our best shot at making sure they won't get hired, so boo fucking who. I'm his right-hand woman, though. You got any questions? Direct them to me. Maybe the two of you should just head to Callahan's office. The discussion here does not seem to be going in the right direction, nor in a particularly interesting one. You're not coming? Talk and you are not the only ones who have the work cut out for them tonight. I trust you can take it from here. And Mia, be easy on her. In slightly different circumstances, I expect the two of you would have ended up on the same side of the barricades. Uh-huh. Take care. She heads back to her vehicle. Well, follow me. I'll show you his place. It's a 19th century style office. Classical, wooden, smelly. The stuffy air of books, old furniture, and dust covers much of the front fragrance of decay, but not all of it. This is the first time I've seen the remains of a vampire who has met final death. I heard stories of really old kindred crumbling to dust, but that's an exaggeration. At least it didn't happen here. When kindred die, time catches up with them. If you offered me right now, I'd probably turn into an ugly, leaky corpse. But Callahan was well over a century old. It's like looking at a dapper mummy. A desiccated body in a heap of musty clothes. All that is left of the mighty boss Douglas Callahan, Anarch Baron of New York City, if that's really him. Needless to say, it might be a little hard to establish the time of death or the cause, especially as his garb doesn't have any obvious damage. What a great place to start. Have you already found anything suspicious? Nothing you didn't see in front of you. Uh-huh. This door is the only point of entry to the room, right? Yeah, and let's count the windows, but nobody except for Callahan knew how to operate those, and they don't let air or light through. Metal binders on the windows facing east, the only modern element of the room, sticking out like a sore thumb. They look automated. Was the door open when Todd got here? Well, that's the one suspicious thing. It wasn't. It's as if Callahan locked himself in from the inside. A closed room murder, huh? There's some glass scattered on the floor. I pointed it. Could that be from the window? I checked it from the outside. It's in perfect condition. So what's this glass? I have no idea. Well, it doesn't seem like she has her suspicions, but it's remaining uncooperative just because of fuck off, camera. I checked the next point of interest, a wall safe, surprisingly large. I played with the lock a bit. What's the combination? It's Callahan's. What makes you think I know? At least I tried. A desk with nothing but an envelope on it, nothing inside. I check all the drawers. Every single one has been thoroughly empty. I don't know what I expected. Is this how addyolks go around securing crime scenes? Were these emptied before Talk arrived? I don't know, but I wouldn't accuse him of tampering with evidence if I were you. Well, thank you. The deco of the room is pretty minimal, so that's not a lot of point of interest that it could illuminate the case. I start getting nervous. I point at the painting on the wall. Of course, you have no idea who that is. Callahan's ancestor, I guess. I'm out of ideas. Everything I look at feels like another dead end. I'm frustrated. I feel as if I failed this investigation before it even started. There must be something more. I start walking around, trying to find a single clue. Mia just watches me indifferently. Give me anything. Anything, God. Anything. Any... Ghosty. A shadow blinks in and out of existence near Callahan's remains. I freeze in place. I'm afraid to speak up so I don't startle whoever that was. You done here? Doesn't seem like Mia noticed it. Give me just a moment more. She groans under her nose and goes back to messaging someone on her phone. When she does, the shadow appears again. Once again, blink in, blink out. Could something be there? I approach the clothes and start searching them for a clue. Maybe they missed something. Getting desperate, huh? Just being thorough. We searched the bastard like 3 times, yet nothing of interest on him. How about this? A small card, barely noticeable, looking a bit like a shopping list, is shoved deep into an almost invisible hole in the fabric. I take it out and show it to Mia. Huh, you didn't plant that there, did you? No, did you? Shove off, what's on it? It's a list of 4 names. DeAngelo, Hope, Agathon, Tamika. All the people from the previous, the people we could visit in the previous game. Any idea what this is about? Beats me. She's lying, but I don't care. Tomorrow night, I will meet up with Kadir and ask him to help me figure it out. I think I'm done here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Guess she sees me as nothing more but an enemy agent. When will I get to meet with Talk? If, and that's a big if, he will agree to meet with you on a one-on-one basis, Catherine will let you know. He probably won't let the loyal Camarilla lapdog like you see him without her oversight anyway. A camera and a laptop, huh? It's a risky play, of course, it might backfire, but maybe I'd benefit if I put my loyalty to the court into question. Yeah, not worth it. Playing for both sides sounds like a recipe for trouble. Too risky and stressful. Pass. I see. Well, have a good night. It's getting late, or early, depending on how you look at it. Once I leave Callahan's office, I head straight to Dakota's apartment. I try to sneak by my bedroom, but she's up waiting for me. How was your night? Shit. Tomorrow. What happened? You look like something the cat dragged in. Tomorrow, I promise. But I'm worried. Don't be. Tomorrow. She gives me a concerned look, then closes her eyes, slumps her shoulders, and frowns. Alright. You're the best. I reach my pitch-black room and throw myself on the bed. The responsibilities, the stakes, the way I always feel too slow to react properly in these situations. I don't want to think. I want to turn off my brain. I want to drift into the void. Into the void, into the void, into the void. Ba-ba-da-bum. Okay. This is a good place to swap. This is a good place to swap. I should save first though. Savey and exiting. Actually, I'm not sure how long the game is. I'm pretty sure it should be around the same length. Okay, now I'm curious. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check how long the game is. How long are you? Did you guys think that well, people died. There was a murder. Okay, I don't know why nothing is not showing up. Let's see. Shadows of myyolks. Number of nights. I enjoy these streams because listening to an audiobook. See what I understand the game. It's okay. It's just we're just reading basically. It's very lore heavy and it's like it's a lot of lore. Yeah, audiobook. I would just read it, but I can't read for long. I think 3 hours is like the absolute maximum because you can already hear like my voice is a bit scratchy. At least I'm not as nasally before. Drink soup. Yum 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 yum. Soup. I'm a drink. Hey Briar. Hey chat. Hello Red Burning. Hello. Welcome. We stopped game. Maybe we stay around, but I don't know. Hydrating. How is everyone? We're doing good. Little sneezy. I haven't sneezed yet though. I have not sneezed brewing yet. Let's see. Ooh. Wait, what? The game only lasts 4 hours? That can't be right. Alright, I'm trying to check how long the second game is. I played it before, but I don't remember how long it is. Just woke up. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, apparently I'm 2 hours in. Only like a third of. Yeah, I think it would take like 3 sessions probably. So we're almost done with it. No, we're apparently like a third of the way through. So yeah, I guess like 3 sessions. I guess it's more like because reading speed is definitely faster than speaking speed. So 3 games opinion. I think so. Considering the previous one also took like three streams. But apparently this one's a little shorter. How you guys doing today? I've been sneezing a lot. Don't know what's wrong with me. I just sneeze so much today. Briar, do you like vampire stories? I guess so, yeah. Vampire stories. Shorter just like me. Why you do yourself like that, Elite? Why you call yourself short? Are you short? This just in Elite short. Topic's easy. Have you read Noblesse? I will look it up in a bit. I love vampire fiction. Yeah, vampires. Okay, let's see. Nothing wrong with being short. Yeah, but I don't know. He always cries about it. Cause he always says, Briar's so tall, unlike me, or something like that. When you are 5'8", me shorty. Yeah, I'm not. There's nobody. Everyone's tall. Everyone can be tall. I'm 5'6". 5'6" is tall too. Everyone celebrate your heights. Roll what you got. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna look at the Noblesse thing first. What's these? What's this word? Oh, okay. Wait, the what? I just looked at. Why are most VTubers under 5'2"? But I'm not under 5'2". I'm not under 5'2". Most VTubers are not under 5'2". Yeah, I don't get. 5'2" is like very extreme, right? It's like quite unusual. Yeah, that's at 157. I mean, there are people that are like that high, but it's not that common. Look at Hololive. They're all unusually heights. I feel like majority above 5'2". Yeah. Most are tall. They all tall people. Tall people for tall. Very tall. I think I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. I don't know why I keep sneezing today. It's like, what the heck is going on? Well, the average VTuber girls, I guess. It depends on the country and it just depends. Trust me, they are under. Sure, we will trust you, the panty stealer. We will trust you. Wait, what are you talking? Well, are we about to enter spring? So flowers and other plants are nearing bloom and oh, I mean, if I was in a, is it temperate climate? If I was in a temperate climate, I would definitely be very sneezy. But I am not in a temperate climate, so I technically don't have a reason to be sneezy. I don't know why I'm sneezy. Because they're also male VTubers. That's a good point. Japanese hololive is short. Aren't you not supposed to gossip about about how tall they are? You're not supposed to gossip, right? Sneeze once, someone should talk about. Sneeze twice, there's crush to talk about. What happens if you sneeze like 10 times a day? You don't need to look it up. I know. I'm not saying to look it up. I'm saying that's not good to discuss it, right? Is yours considered a tropical climate? Yes, it is. Pretty sure. What the heck? Okay, that's a little weird. For etiquette to talk about other VTubers. Other VTubers in the same place. If I get cold, I will sneeze constantly. Yeah, I don't know why. I haven't sneezed this much for like a while. Points. It's not points, it's yolks. Is the yolks. I won't sneeze at all in the cold. I guess you are very strong. Your nose is very strong. Red yolks. Red yolks. How much for a used tissue? You can get one in the trash can. And also you could also blow your nose and then that would be a used tissue. I will sneeze when it's spring. And I've had irritated nose from pollen before. We are everywhere again, but we have to remember the command. There are many command. Mostly itchy eyes. Yeah, I heard itchy eyes is definitely allergies. Mini. I was trying to say many, not mini. Sleepy. Feel like you're about to say mini man. Why would I say mini man? I don't understand. How would I just rail already? Man, everyone's playing Monster Hunter WoWs. I should play Monster Hunter. Maybe not WoWs because I didn't buy it yet. Maybe next week we could play like Rise again. Or World. Actually, we should play Rise. We should continue Rise. Eepy. Sleepy. Big Eepy, big Sleepy. No idea what I'm talking about. A bunch of random yappers. Big yappers. Elite trainer, why you send sad emoji? Once in a while, you can carry a second. You can have 2 weapons? What? That sounds cool. Lol. Yeah. I didn't know they have 2 weapons. I haven't looked at anything. I haven't looked at anything in the game yet. To put it on the mount. And that sounds neat. You have like a little thing to be with you. That's kind of nice. I think that's a good addition. They grabbed the best of both wood and rice and reproved the I see. I feel like I should play Rise though because I didn't continue it and then I'm so bad at the fighting. I'm so bad at the fighting. Cause like in the world I fight. I'll go carried. I got carried mostly in world. I'll go carried. I remember there was a lot of grinding to get all the pods, all the weapons. Bad at the fighting. Yeah, I'm bad at the fighting. Like I'm bad at the fighting, especially solo. I play with my friend and my friend carry. I want to see my Monster Hunter World. The bow is so good now. Yeah, they changed it in Rise, and then I went to look at the tutorial and I was like, wait, you can do such a thing now? Well, I haven't looked at the stuff in the what's it called? I haven't looked at the WoWs yet. They have tracer error. That sounds complicated and out of date for me, but it sounds nice. Oh yeah, I did try the benchmark tool. Apparently I can run the game on like 45 FPS average at 720p medium settings. Damn, the game's so laggy. It's homing after an hour. That's kind of neat. Homing arrow. Now that's gaming. Yeah. Gaming is all the FPS. All the FPS. On low resolution, that's fine. Yeah. I tried to like make it a little bit bigger, like maybe by big, like maybe 1600 to 900, but 720 is still better for the game to run. I'm used to 4K. I don't, my monitor doesn't even play 4K, I think. Wait, 4K. I think, technically you can do that on a 4K. On a regular monitor. I mean like the FPS. My FPS is like, and the hertz is like 60 only. 720 and 1080 is HD quality. It is. It is. Good for YouTube side, that's fair. But I don't know if it like will look stretched out. It sometimes probably does. Most people don't watch 4K on phone. I definitely don't, yeah. No 4K. Unless they have Sony flagship phone like Xperia Mark 5. Why specifically those phones? They have 4K display on the phone. What? Would they have 4K display on the phone? Why watch 4K on phone? It's too slow. Yeah, sorry. Exactly. Who took the words? Why out of my mouth? Why am I so tired? I have that line of phone. You have that kind of phone too? Do you also watch 4K? Because it look nice? Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, on phone eats battery. That is true too. fun. But it might eat up battery, but image quality and being able to tell what I'm watching is important. I guess, but I feel like you don't really need... There's not really a big situation where you like have to watch 4K. But if you like watching 4K, go ahead, watch 4K. I don't judge you. I don't judge you at all. You really don't super yeah. I don't know why. I'm just really tired this week. 4K is not necessary, it's not to have. That is true. I mean, because like, by rest if you're tired, I will. Mayhaps we should find people. Yeah, you sound tired. My bad. We will find somebody to... No! Don't bonk the bald. Don't bonk the bald. Sleep is important and feels good. Yeah, sleep is important and feels good. You wanna go to CuppyCon? Wanna go to CuppyCon? I'll send you guys to CuppyCon and you can bombard her. I will send you guys to CuppyCon. CuppyCon. Alright. Thanks for coming, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm so tired. But thank you for coming, guys. Hope you guys like the reading. See you. Wait, we're not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm not streaming. See you on Friday. We're doing sleeping dogs. Sleeping dogs on Friday. Okay. Bye-bye.